Hello,
Hello.
everybody. Welcome in. Making sure that all my stuff's working after I've updated OBS. Hello. Welcome in. I have gravely missed
There
stream,
we are.
and
Oh, hey, here we are. I see us.
glad to be back.
Look at
Well,
us.
hello.
Let me fix some things here.
How y'all doing?
Okay, so
Great.
it,
If I can kill this fucking fly.
It's us.
it is us. It's been a minute.
Someone's gonna die today.
I hope not. Well, actually, maybe I do. So
I have like 4 backups. That's fine.
He's ready to go. So we left off on a very tense situation. So I'll give a free reroll to everybody that contributes to the recap here.
I'll go towards the end since
I feel like we're all in different places right now, aren't we?
pretty much as usual.
Yeah.
Are we
Like,
split
we've
again?
somehow managed to just completely split the party at this point.
We
Like,
haven't met
three
up
of us
yet.
are in the same general area-ish, but and one of us is very far away.
Well,
But I'll let someone else start, and then I'll jump in.
I don't mind starting.
Okay.
Go on, Alec.
So I will say, at least for Hannibal, made a tense alliance with a couple of gentlemen. Basically, I agreed to help them and give them pretty much, a huge portion of the supplies on the truck that Jimmy is in with the cat. And in exchange, they had to help me find Sylvie. So went to my friend's house, good old Bobby Fisher, and he is a psychopath, but he gave me a bunch of guns, and so he told me to go murder a bunch of people, and I was like, of course. And then I now have a Tommy gun. Well, yeah, Tommy gun, and a Martini Henry rifle, and I'm ready to go just shoot up a bunch of fools, and hopefully not gonna hit people I care about. Well, person I care about. The others I don't give a shit.
Alec over here with fucking Doomslayer music blasting in the background.
Yeah.
How tragic would it be if you killed Sylvie and everyone else would live?
Oh god.
Has anyone seen the movie In Bruges?
Oh no.
Not
Yeah,
for a long
okay.
time.
Yeah, I know.
It's-
I know.
I would pull a Rafe Fiennes in Bruges.
That's what they're going
But-
over. I'm sure it's not great.
Oh,
It's not great. It's not great.
Wonderful
point is-
movie. Incredibly sad.
The point is, Hannibal's having an awesome time ready to murder, and only falling apart mentally a little bit. What up?
Oh.
Great.
Wonderful.
Go on, Artie.
I'm trying to piece together what I remember from that session. Most of it involves Dodger having a bit of a mental breakdown in the middle of a factory, but we haven't got there yet. We set out on an expedition to find supplies. We cracked open a few crates. Dodger found a motorcycle, which was kind of cool. And then, what else happened in that facility? I can't remember.
I feel like a good part of the session for us, because so Dodger, Sylvie, and Edward began the session together. We went off with Giorgio. Giorgio is his name?
Giorgio.
Yeah,
Giorgio.
you two broke off
Yep.
from where I was. I
And
stayed
we-
behind getting stuff going.
and a group of mobsters who were like, supplies is our biggest number one priority. Your brother, my brother, Sylvie's brother, is like low on the priority list. I guess we'll get there. this train yard. I guess we'll go and see it as well. Like they were very like non-committal, but they seem open to the idea. So there's something. We went to this to this facility with them. But a good part of the session was us getting there, and interacting with each other and formulating, I guess, a sort of plan. And then I think when we got there, Edward sort of went off one way a little bit. Dodger and I went off another way, and then the two of us ended up splitting off. On Sylvie's part, she saw something she saw a shadow or something, and then when it saw her, it ran very quickly, unnaturally quickly, inhumanly quickly, up the stairs towards like the office bit that kind of oversees the facility. So what she decided to do was go with just one other person and follow it, because that seems like the best idea, to go and figure out what's going on. But she is a little cautious. She knows that this wasn't quite right, and so she just keeps making, maybe we shouldn't do this, but she continues to go. So she went off one way, and then and Dodger and Edward are doing other things, which I will let them.
Right. Just.
Yeah.
You want to go next?
Yeah, I'll pop in here. We do have. I feel like my dude had the end of the session, but I'll leave Artie for you to sort of clean up anything we've missed. When Edward went with the group to this place, which we had gone to this place largely to scrounge for supplies. We heard there was a warehouse that had stuff we needed to go into, so we went there with the mafia guys, started searching through, and we found a motorcycle, but not just that. We found a fucking truck, and that truck is in potentially working condition. It just needed an oil change to get its parts put back together, and Edward, being an engine hand, decided he was going to take care of that. While he was, and the rest of the party was off doing their own thing, either playing the Doomslayer, the only thing that hell fears, and the other party's playing Scooby-Doo. Edward was in the room repairing this, and eventually we heard and with the guards watching, saw his buddy. And his buddy had managed to get all the way here, was scared out of his mind, and talked about there being some giant deer thing or elk thing in the woods because he had spent another night out there. We managed to get him out. He's okay, but I believe the last thing we saw with that was there was like Edward saw something like a shadow on the wall with like deer with like elk horns, and he just sort of like blinked and it wasn't there, and he's like, okay, I think we both had a little too much. Let's get inside. And that was the last that I recall happening there. I will leave my recap off there. Artie, if you've got anything to add, please.
Speaking of creepy elk-like shapes in the woods, when Dodger went off on her own, she I don't know what happened exactly, but she started having a little bit of a, I guess you call it a claustrophobic moment, where the exit closed itself off of all these shelves, and then she tried to go a different way and was met with the same thing, until she was chased by a giant shadowy figure. And I can't remember if she hit a brick wall or she stopped in the middle of the aisle, but she was grabbed by it. She could feel the teeth in front of her, and then she woke up somewhat.
Yeah, you were like proceeding down this corridor of boxes, crates, shelves, etc., and you eventually ended up on the other side in what was perceivably urban Chicago at night. Gentle drizzle. You could see the.
That's what it was. Yes,
lamps.
She was in the alleyway.
Mm-hmm. There's two.
Yeah. She ended up in an alleyway, and there was two guys.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember now.
One that was preternaturally tall, and the other one was
if I remember,
an average fellow.
That's right, because she tried to talk to them.
Yes.
And then when she realized that they were not human, or what she didn't perceive as human, she turned around and ran, only to be caught by said thing.
Yeah.
and that's the last thing I remember because I think we left it there. It's all fun and games in Chicago tonight.
Yeah, it's always fun and games in Chicago. Let's see. That's not true at all. Let's see. Stream hanging in there, pal.
The murder capital. Always fun and games in the murder capital. That's right.
Hey,
Why is Mario theme tune?
I don't know. Okay.
Fucking nightmare. Ding.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Murder.
I miss the energy of this
motherfucker.
group so much.
I was gonna contribute, but I was... Anyway, moving on.
Did we do a good recap? Are you happy with our recap, Reg?
I am succinctly satisfied with the recap. So go ahead and give yourself some rerolls. Actually, also, if you do use these rerolls, I will allow you to count it as a success in order for like leveling up your skills. So.
Nice.
Oh.
You will allow what? Sorry.
So normally when you use a reroll or like a push, you can't mark it as a success for the means of leveling up. But if you use my reroll, I'll let you do that.
That's right.
What a sweetheart you are.
I feel kind, especially considering I've gone through nonstop torment the past few sessions. I gotta like ease up on the gas a little. I don't know if it's gonna be this session,
No, you don't. No, you don't.
but all right.
You push the pedal down harder. It'll be funnier.
Oh, right on. Okay, in that case,
Speak for yourself.
who do I pick?
Why
up?
would you say that, Art?
I have a death wish.
Don't worry, we'll slow down when we hit a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Can I, because I didn't do it before this session, I don't know if you guys all did it before I joined the tech call. Can I just quickly roll for my
By all means.
luck and the successful spot hidden that I had last time to see if I...
Wait, we roll for luck as well?
Yeah, luck. You do attempt to improve it.
Are we supposed to do that every session?
Yeah.
Yes, every session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quickly do that now as well.
I don't worry about it.
Never mind.
Fuck yeah.
Is that the first one of the game?
First one of the day.
Oh! Wait, does it have to be higher?
It has to be higher.
Yeah.
You want it to be higher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ow.
D10. See what you got.
1d10. 3. Okay. Oh,
Nice.
that brings me to a nice. Well, no, it doesn't. It brings me. It brings me to 26 luck.
Nice.
Oh god, I forgot yours was that low.
Oh wow, yeah, you used
Yeah,
all the
remember
luck,
I like pumped all of it
Oh.
into not dying in a horde in a car.
I forgot about it.
That's fair.
Oh, no.
That's actually fair.
And then I'm gonna do a one for my spot hidden. So bear with. No. Okay, fine.
That was. Oh god.
Oh, excellent. All right, so trying to think who I want to pick up with. I think the most difficult one to pick up. What's up?
I'm good with whatever, buddy. If you need to go with anyone else, I had my moment at the end of the last session. I'm willing to wait.
Wherever.
I want to go with Alec because I believe it's been a moment since we've done something with Hannibal, but I can't remember because it's been a while. Forgive my memory.
Okay.
Okay. So, I believe you just acquired a lot of firearms, if I'm remembering correctly. That's where you left off.
Yes, I have a Thompson, 2 drum magazines, a 45 Martini Henry. Of course, I have my own gun. And um, I am going to be 100%. I don't remember. I don't think I got guns for the fellas I'm with. I think it was kind of like you're on your own.
Yeah, no, I don't believe you did.
But I did tell them, I'm like, we got to go and kill some fools. So, but in like a Hannibal way,
Right.
easing into character. Let me just be like, darkness. All right, I got it.
So,
Angst.
the real question is, you know where you're at right now, but are you going to be able to find the location that Robert disclosed to you?
Now, he. So I'm going to go kill a bunch of North Side, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And it was the warehouse. If I don't like just know it offhand, I'm gonna ask the guys that I'm with if they know which warehouse it is.
Okay.
And they helped me.
If I remember correctly, he did say it was like at a it was a it was, I don't know if it was a warehouse. Remember, it was just like a building.
Yeah.
So on the north side. So Louis and Willie, Louis being, I believe Louis the younger one, Willie's the older gentleman. I said gentleman like these guys aren't a couple of wood hook idiots. But they kind of look between each other, and Willie turns his chin up. No, I reckon North Side gang. I think they're in some sort of plaza now. At least I know they do a lot of indiscriminate things there.
Indiscriminate.
I see a lot of them Irish and Polish folk going to and from. And if I remember correctly, the North Siders are the Irish Polish.
All right. They're gonna be gone. We're gonna go make sure every one of them's dead. Now, I think the best thing to do is take out any surrounding people. If they're holed up in a building, just open the doors wide and the noise bring in the dead.
Louis would look over.
Now,
So you think we should just let the dead kill him?
man's got to eat, even a dead one, I guess.
But they sort of look between each other rather grimly, but they seem to have this sort of understanding, like, gotta do what you gotta do, sort of vibe.
It will take out a lot of hostile people with a lot of weaponry. Any dead that they tear through is less dead to deal with. And then, of course, if you can go in afterward with your little group, I'm sure there'll be some supplies you can pick over. That in addition to what you're getting from the truck. But you want my help, I need yours. And if you have any qualms in your stomach about it, I suggest you get over it now. No time left on this hell to have any sort of impropriety about feelings.
They both sort of shrug and give acknowledgments of just like, okay, gotta do what you gotta do. Like they don't seem adverse to doing brutal things, especially now.
Now, I spent the better part of 2 years taking crack shots over the trenches. Uh, if there's a spot I can find, set up, I have this, and I'll hold up the Martini Henry that I have and try and take out any surrounding guards. I want the two of you, you can move in. All we need to do is get the doors open. Any work we do to take out some of the guards should raise enough of a ruckus. The dead will clean up the rest.
So, do you want us to do any shooting?
Yeah. While I'm taking out guards, move in and pull distraction for me. I'll cover you. You just got to move car to car, do what you got to do to stay low.
All right. We heading there now?
I no time like the present.
Good.
Sooner we finish with this, sooner you get your truck, sooner I get my sister, and then we can call this a blissful partnership and part ways.
Well, I reckon you lead the way.
I'll I'll go and from there we'll start heading toward the plaza. Obviously, I want to be as careful as possible and like keep an eye out for any, because I'm sure if Northside's there, there's going to be like several guards posted, even if they're as like restricted as they are. Like there's still got to be lookouts and shit.
Oh, sure. So, it takes you a while to get over to Northside from where you're at, but maybe like a better part of an hour or two. And obviously, the street has these stragglers wandering around that can just be easily bypassed. They're not moving particularly quickly. And as you get closer and closer to what you perceive to be this Northside Plaza, you see what like in the distance you see like a fountain. You see this like sort of gazebo and this like Roman revival sort of like architecture around this little plaza park, and it's there are cars in the street. Not so much to they're not like there's not like a big wall of cars, but they're elaborately placed cars. Like they're parked in such a way where it's like there's like a pattern to it. And there's a lot of tall buildings in this plaza, and you're heading down a particularly narrow street. So you have the advantage in the way that they might not be watching this particular street.
Okay. If well, definitely what I want to do is try and find one of the tall buildings nearby that I can get up as high as I can. Ideally, get to a balcony. If I have to get to the roof, fine, but I'd prefer to get to a balcony so I can basically have overwatch of the entire area. And I'm gonna have I'll tell Louie and Willie like to stay down. Now I'm gonna start taking out a couple guards once I get up high and I can watch. Once you start hearing shots, then I want you to create a diversion away from me and start moving. If you stick behind cars and stay low and move fast, I can cover every move you take. Okay? But I need to have them shooting in two directions.
Right. Well, the two of them seem to be kind of. Willie, the older gentleman, doesn't seem to be doing so as much, but Louis seems to be kind of clamming up a little bit at the notion of just like walking into this place and starting to shoot. He seems to be all talk. Well, both of them seem to be all talk, but that's the vibe you get.
I'm going to immediately look at Louis. I need to know if you can handle this, or if y'all are just wasting my time.
I got it. He clutches rifle. And now I reckon that this is for the greater good, and it's worth the trouble.
That's not what I asked.
I,
Right?
I
If you fuck me out there, we're gonna have a problem.
no, ain't gonna be none of that.
Now, when you are in a firefight, you have one person you can rely on. And it's the man by your side. You don't ever let him down. You don't ever betray him. You always watch his back and do what's right. You understand me? Good. Now pull on your fucking big boy pants and let's do this. And I'm going to look at the two of them one last time before I go. Like I said, I'll find like the nearest building that I can get up to. Like I said, a balcony, ideally, or even up to the roof. And I'm going to, once you hear me start shooting, wait a moment. Once they start returning fire, you start drawing their attention and moving as fast as you can. Don't stay in one place. You hear me fire, you move. You hear them fire, you stay. We gotta draw their attention 2 places at once. Stay low, stay behind the car. You'll be all right. Just gotta get the doors open. And I'm gonna look at like the Roman statue, and it's like they can see Hannibal like immediately kind of scoffs at it, and then is gonna head up.
So it's like 3 or 4, maybe 5 in the evening. So it's not dark. Sunset's not around yet. It's not that late in the year. What was the? I can't remember what month it is. I guess it doesn't matter now. But sunset's not for another few hours. So you're able to find a fire escape, and with a little bit of effort, you can climb yourself up on top of a building. You're not sure how good of a vantage you can get yourself, but you see these two unlikely allies or disposable or acquaintances, as you may see it, making their way in the street very cautiously, sort of like huddled over their guns as they're sort of making their way up and moving their way around these few strangely parked vehicles. And as you get up higher and higher in the fire escape, you realize something when you're looking at these vehicles. They are laid out in such a way that it is like a not like a maze, but like sort of like a snake pattern. Yeah, it's snaked to sort of slow the dead. It's considering that this has only been going on for about 2 or 3 weeks. You can't help but feel that that's ingenious. But you also realize that the two that you just sent off are probably walking right into a death trap.
Well, that's not my problem. I'm going to look down, and it's not. I don't care about them. I feel nothing. This is the character I'm playing.
This is the Chad arc.
No, I know. I'm laughing.
I'm in my psychopath era.
It's just the way Red built it up. Like, you just realized, like, with this real emotion, you went, well. Not my problem, even though you just directly told them to do it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
War is hell. I guess.
They knew the risks. No, they didn't. They knew enough of the risks.
I knew the risks and decided they were fine.
I gave them enough information.
Yeah. Some of you may die.
That's literally
That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's literally been so
Um,
something. So good.
classic.
now, from where I'm at, I can see that they're heading into a maze to slow things down, which is a problem. Now, I will say I will keep overwatching them because I want them to get to the doors. But if I can get enough of the guards drawn out that I can work my way down, then I'll do that.
Okay, so
Um,
as you're going up, you do see a clock tower. There's like a small
Okay.
clock tower that sort of like it serves as a focal point of the plaza. And could you make some sort of check for me? Some sort of perception based check?
spot hidden,
Spot hidden would be good.
success.
Okay, as you're climbing up, you realize that that clock tower is a really great vantage point because it kind of looks out in all directions. There's like a bell on it, and you can just sort of be up there and look around, and there's windows looking in each and every direction. And you have a slight feeling that this militant criminal organization that you are slightly familiar with might have not, they might have had the same idea that you did.
Hmm. I'm okay.
The plaza's wide open, and from where you are at on top of this building now, you don't see anybody. It is barren. There is just, it's actually kind of tranquil. The fountain itself is not running, but it still looks really nice, and there's some still water in it.
All right, I know he doesn't exist yet, but I'm gonna Charles Whippen this shit. So let me get to that clock tower.
It's going to take a
Um,
lot of climbing and maneuvering to get over to it. You are about like a half a block away from it, maybe more.
it's if it has that much better of a sight, it's worth it.
Hmm.
Um, do you want me to do a climb check
Yes, I would like that.
or yeah, climb is gonna. I
Well,
don't
whatever you
really
feel would
think
be
anything.
appropriate. There's a lot of different skills I'd say that would be appropriate for maneuvering around the building right now.
My only other thought would be if you'd let me do stealth, but I don't know that.
This is technically a stealthy action. It would be slower than climbing, but you do it quietly, and I would allow it.
Oh, I got I got all the time in the world. I said, so stealth 40.
You quietly, sort of just as quietly as you can. So you have to take off your shoes, and you hop over from one rooftop to a fire escape, climb up the next, and you're moving very slowly, very intricately in your movement, and you hear nothing. You kind of lose sight of the two men that you sent through the small maze as you're moving, but you're getting closer to the clock tower, and you within probably 15, 20 minutes you're at the clock tower, you're in front of it, and you can climb over to it. But you look over when you're finally able to actually get a vantage and look down at this plaza again. The two men that you sent are not there.
I told them not to move until I started shooting. Okay. Um, I I assume they either bolted or um, have like moved in and are not where I want them to be. So either way is useless to me. Um, I'm going to just make sure, like I said, heft up the rifles I have and my bag, with all the ammo in it, um, and just get up to the bell tower of this so I can look out and start taking out guards.
Okay. So as you as you start scaling the ladder and then getting up the side and like you make your way inside of the clock tower, it is a working clock tower, and you can see that the mechanical bits inside are still moving and functioning, and it is particularly loud. So you can get away with just doing basic movement and not catching anyone's attention. Just really loud mechanical, sort of like click, click, nonstop things. And you start ascending the stairs, which are more like wooden scaffolding. And as you reach the top, you see somebody sitting in a particular position that you are familiar with nearing the end of World War One, when sniping became more of a relevant thing. He's sitting in such a way where he has his leg extended and the rifle propped up on one knee. He is wearing he is completely shirtless, and he has a pair of like dress slacks on with some suspenders and a flat cap. And you can see him adjusting his scope like he is zoning in on something. And you see that this rifle of his, it's old, but it has a lot of notches in it. You can count from where you're standing 9.
Okay.
You don't know whether or not that is before or after everything happened.
Mm-hmm.
He does not notice you yet, but he's a thin, lithe fellow with a yellowish orange beard.
I'm going to just basically swing the Thompson right in his direction, and I'm going to take like a half step forward. Hands off. Come on, put it down.
He doesn't even flinch. He just slowly starts moving his hands away from the weapon. And he like turns his head to look over at you, and you realize that he has a very similar injury to Robert. Pretty much half of his face is just sort of like burned, scarred, and melted, and he's missing an eye. And you can see his teeth on the inside of his face, like he just gave up on wearing the tin plate at some point.
And I'm going to, while I still have the Thompson pointed at him, where'd you serve?
I didn't serve the United States. I can tell you that much.
Okay. That's not my problem. You with the North Side or not?
What's it matter? You've obviously come here to kill me.
No, I've come here to kill a whole bunch of people. You don't have to be one of them. You with the North Side or not?
There is no North Side anymore.
I don't know what it is about this hell that we're in right now. People don't answer my fucking questions.
I was. Like I said,
You
there
were.
is no North Side anymore. They're gone.
So if I were to aim like you're aiming and start killing all the people in this plaza, would you have any problem with that?
Women and children.
If I have to?
Who do you think you are? Oh, pardon me.
I'm nobody. But I'll tell you this right now. As far as you're concerned, I'm the angel of death. Now I can pass you over, or I can cut you in half right on top of this fucking tower. So I'm asking, would you have a problem if I do what I got to do?
He inhales, and there's like this sort of weird sound as he breathes in. I do have a wee bit of a problem. There's a lot of innocent people here that don't deserve what you're thinking about doing. I don't even know who sent you, nor do I care. You could be with the outfit for all I care. Probably are. You don't look Irish. You don't look Italian. You don't look Polish. What are you? German?
No. I'm Hannibal Riggs. And I am death. And I'm going to just blast right through him and cut him in half.
Okay, make an attack roll.
And take him. Okay. Let's see here. I said I'm using the Thompson, so I'll use that. That succeeds.
Jesus. Alright. Go ahead and roll damage for me.
Okay.
Actually, damage was automatically rolled. You rolled a 4.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay. You do blast him, but it like clips his arm and his torso, and you can like sort of see where it hits, and it like strikes into the wood and splinters go everywhere. And he reacts to the pain only slightly as he rolls over and grabs his weapon and just kind of like leans backward with his rifle between his legs, and he's gonna take a shot at you now.
Okay.
Let's see. Really? Let's see here. He's using a Springfield, which is pretty typical United States service rifle of World War I. Also just kind of common use. They brought them home and they ended up using them wherever. So he is going to hit you. We're going to see for how much damage.
For 8 damage?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I fire, and then he spins around and aims and catches me right in the dome, and my lifeless body falls off the tower. I am at 0 hit points.
It's good.
What the fuck?
Hold on.
So exactly how ready are your backup characters there, Alex? We gotta ask. You did mention you had a couple.
I gotta discuss them with Red, but I don't mind just hanging out for the rest of the session.
What the fuck?
No! Whoa! Whoa!
I'm glad Alec thinks this is just as funny as I think it is. It's just...
You
I
had
took
to
a-
reroll. You could have done more damage.
Well, no, you can't reroll damage. I was allowing you to reroll D100 rolls.
Oh, but then you could have
No!
done
Fucking wait! Fuck!
I had a shot, and
I don't believe
Take
you
him out.
instantly die. Let me check real quick.
Oh god. Oh god.
Jesus.
Wait, just stay alive. We'll come and find you.
We've been saying that for how many sessions now? I feel
wait,
like we
wait.
can't really say it much longer in good faith.
Oh man.
Wait, no, we're coming to find you, okay?
I'll say I made it almost like more than twice as long as Hannibal that I did as dude.
So
Stay in the just stay in the damn apartment. This is all Sylvie wanted.
okay, so you aren't dead. You're
God.
you are unconscious. You have taken a major wound, and you are dying.
None of us know where you are. Oh,
So-
Christ.
Send a pigeon.
Crawl into the.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave that scene as that. Hannibal misses this guy as he sort of dexterously rolls out of the way, grabs his rifle, and I'll say that the camera is focused on this new, particularly brutal-looking guy. Shot is fired, and then next scene.
Do we choose what the next scene is? What?
No, I'm just letting it linger a little bit.
I'm having a good time.
Oh, good, great. Well, great. Yeah, great. As long as you're having a good time, that's great. Yeah.
I'm stressed.
I like how
I'm so-
I really like how Alec was just already like, I'm dead. This is already.
You were just
Yeah,
ready to. Just...
My lifeless body falls from the tower. I'm dead. But I just went, huh?
Hey,
Okay, so you only
them's the breaks, baby.
instantly die if you take damage exceeding your hit point maximum, which your hit point maximum is 12. You took 8 damage, which is exactly how much you had left in your pool. So you are unconscious, you are dying, etc., etc. You can mark the major wound box, all that fun stuff.
I'm having a good time.
Hold on, I need to double this.
Okay, so let's move over to I believe Cat would be a good pickup point because
Yeah, great. Straight to Sylvia, the great big.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the other one.
Meanwhile,
the living sibling. No, I'm kidding.
how many times do I get to say the words "I can't wait to see my brother again" in this scene?
Please do it, please.
I never told you how you would see him again. It might be in a box or splattered on the
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I think that Sylvia's gonna lose all her sanity right there.
So
You take 100 sanity damage.
oh yeah, you would just die. If you so, or you actually technically you would fall under my control. So
That's worse.
That's worse. Definitely worse.
where I recall
Take a
Sylvie leaving off is her and Giorgio were in pursuit of this shadowy figure that was moving preternaturally fast, and they were like in hot pursuit of this guy up to this office, and I believe that's exactly where we left off.
Yeah, I feel like we were going up the stairs, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
This thing had gone, or did we see it again? No, we didn't. I don't think we'd got into the office yet.
Yeah, no, you, I believe Giorgio was, let's say Giorgio was working on getting into the office. You see him, like, fumbling with the door handle, and it's locked. It wasn't locked a second ago. I mean, you heard the door open.
Wait, and I saw this thing go into the office?
Yes. And he's fumbling with the lock, and he's, like, body checking it with his shoulder, just, like, slamming into it. Yes.
So I feel like Sylvie would sort of, would kind of have this moment because she's not sure what she's seen, and obviously Giorgio has been questioning what she's seen this entire time and is being like, "Are you sure, hun?"
Right, like are
the
you
whole time and it's like, no, I'm telling you. But she knows that she saw this thing, and at this point she was like, that thing's moving unnaturally fast, like there's got to be something off with this. Maybe it's one of those creatures, maybe it's something. Like, she's beginning to think that, like, she didn't think that this person was alive. And then she's watching Giorgio try to get into this office, and she's like, I just watched it walk through the door. Like, so I think that she would probably just head on over to where he is. And is there any way, I mean, her locksmith is, I've got a little bit in locksmith. Is he trying to jimmy? Is he trying to jimmy the door open? Like, is he trying to like unlock it with like a lockpick or anything?
Oh no, he's just trying to use like brute force to try to open up this like solid wood door.
Okay. Seeing that, I'm gonna try it. Seeing that perhaps stealth might help, and I don't have a good score for this still. I'm gonna just preface this, but I think that she will do what she did before when she didn't get into Howard's office, and she will get a clip out of her hair, and she will attempt to unlock the door.
Locksmith.
And she'll be like, wait. We gotta try to be quiet, right? Let me try. And then she'll go to do it, and then she'll look at him and she'll go, I'm not that good at this.
He just gives you sort of like a pouted lower lip, like, are you serious right now?
Let's see, because if I do this, like, I think all she wants to do is just make this man think that she's useful, because so far I don't think this is gonna work. Okay, is it the same score or under, or is it like if I've got the score?
If you have it on the score, it's a success.
Yes, it's a success.
Oh, right on.
Nice.
Good for you, Mark. Fuck yeah.
She's
good.
like she tries it. I what? Did I just manage to do a lockpick? I did not think this would happen.
Well,
I'm sorry, I just found it really funny. You were like, wait, do I succeed when I roll under? Like, I just love that.
No, because I rolled 16. I have 16 in locksmith.
right. That's great. Okay. Good.
Well done.
Good work.
Yeah, I got a tick on next to locksmith. I might actually be able to get better at it. Oh, what an emotional thing. One dead brother, but an increased skill. What a trade-off.
It seems like, yeah, I was gonna say that seems like an optimal trade-off.
I'm not going to
so-
say anything.
So she kind of like she kind of goes, let me try. I'm not that good at this. And he's just giving her this like, oh, okay, sweetheart, like just let me know when you want me to go back to bashing the door down. Look, and then she'll like get in there and she'll channel her inner Jimmy for a second, and she'll just move it slightly, and she'll hear the slight click, and I'm not gonna lie, she's gonna be fucking smug about it. Okay, she's gonna like take this clip back out, she's gonna put it back in her hair, and she's gonna look at him with this dazzling smile and just slowly open the handle and then just slightly prod it as the door like goes slightly ajar, and she'll go, "You're welcome."
Okay. Good job.
Does he look like he approves?
He actually looks kind of shocked that that worked. Like, more than anything, he just like, okay. It might be useful after all. Huh?
You learn a lot of tricks in a theater.
You're not. Never mind. He's just gonna like keep his pistol in one hand, and he's gonna like push the door open and sort of step in. And you're greeted with an office that has light peering in through blinds, and you can tell that this office is quite disheveled. Somebody was here and like just completely tore through the place. Through the blind, like the light peering through the blinds, you can see bits of dust and stuff like that that were kicked up and sort of swirling around. And there's chairs overturned. There's filing cabinets that are wide open. It's in disarray. The only thing that hasn't moved much is the big old desk, which you can't even fathom how somebody would get a desk up in here in the first place. Because it is a big desk, and you're not sure how it fit through the door.
I'm immediately looking for this shadow.
Okay, make some sort of check for me.
Can I do spot hidden? I want to see.
Please.
Yeah, so I rolled a 42. My spot hidden is 55, so it is
Okay.
a success.
Excellent. The one thing that you notice is that the blinds were hastily pulled down, and you know that the window is wide open. The window is wide
Okay.
open, so much in fact that you can hear a car tearing down the street.
Oh, so I can hear like a car going.
Mhm.
Does it seem to be going away from us or towards us?
Towards.
I wonder if that might be Chuck. Okay. I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing here. Okay, she will narrative. Okay, so she will walk into the office, and I think that at this point she will, because Giorgio did give her her gun back, which she was pretty shocked about, to be honest.
Yeah, because he was
but
just like,
will,
you might be onto something.
he will so she will come in with the gun out just in case she's missed something, but I think that really her focus is kind of on this window. She's pretty sure that whatever that thing was has got out the window. So I think she will head towards the window, and I think she will just have a look outside. Like, she will just see if she can see anything running or anything getting away, basically. And also, she's intrigued by the car. She wants to know what the car is. So.
Okay, so Giorgio sort of looks at you as you pull out your weapon, and he points at you. Finger off the trigger until you're ready to use it.
I know. She is slightly frustrated by that, because literally every time she pulls out a weapon, someone tells her how to use it, and she has a 50 in it, so she's not bad at it, okay?
Oh yeah.
So she's like, so she's already got it out, and as he's saying it, he will notice that her finger is not on the trigger, and she just like give him this slightly vexed look. Like, she's normally a very put together person with a smile, but like just a small amount of irritation has seeped through. But she kind of, then she smiles and goes, "I know," and then walks into the room to the window.
If Giorgio was a slightly younger fellow, this may be perceived as mansplaining, but he is probably in his early to mid 40s, so it's more of like a fatherly sort of way. Just like, now be careful.
Oh, 100%. She knows that it's that, but she's also grown up with a lot of her life with her brother being very overly protective and having to manage that. So it's just the constant feeling like that she needs to be baby. She gets vexed by it as well. So
Right.
It's not just that she thinks she's been mansplained to. It's just that she's like, I know how to use this. Thank you. But
so you do look out the window and you see this car coming, and it's the same car that stirred up all that nonsense in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
You recognize the car. You see it immediately. It's something that just like, it's a flashbulb memory for you. You're like, I know that car.
I think so does she see any sign of anything running away, or like a shadow or a figure?
So you sort of, outside of the window is a fire escape, and you sort of climb out from the fire escape, I take it. It's stable.
Yeah, I think she will want to kind of like peer out. She'll try and get out to really see what's going on. So if that means that she has to like climb out of it, then sure.
On the way as you're climbing out the window, you knock over an ashtray, and it just like goes falling to the ground below, and you realize how high up you are. You're about 3 stories up. As it takes a few moments for it to go, brink, and just break on the ground. And this car like rides up, turns, and not too long after, you see Edward making his way out towards the car, and you see the scene play out of it, seemingly somebody that Edward knows. So you're safe in that regard.
I think that she would I think that even though she doesn't know Edward very well, she knows that this is Edward's friend. She knows that he was kind of, she would gather that he was probably a bit worried about him. So she kind of smile, even a little bit absent-mindedly to herself, of just like, oh, like 2 people that she didn't think would actually ever see each other again are seeing each other again. So that's quite nice. And she'll think fondly of the moment that she's really looking forward to, her reunion with her brother. She can't wait to see him again, and she'll be like, yeah, I can't, like, she would kind of smile at like the moment, imagining how much he's going to yell at her and for disappearing, how much she's going to have to smooth that over. But she's excited for it, and then she'll kind of if she doesn't see any sign of someone like escaping, or this figure, I guess, that she was chasing up into this office, then she'll climb back into the office towards where Giorgio is and say,
Pause there. So you're at the window, you're on the fire escape, you're observing this whole situation. As you turn back towards the window, through the window is not the office. It's a street. It's a damp street.
oh no.
You see city lights, you see cars going by like it was just any other night. But you feel compelled to climb through the window.
I think she will briefly look back again just to see if she's still seeing this scene play out or if that's now changed.
You're in some old, decrepit building that you do not recognize. Though there are some
So that's
things.
completely changed as well.
Yes, there's you see furniture covered by sheets and stuff like that, and there's like cobwebs and dust. There's a very quiet tick, tick, tick from a clock.
Oh no. So this is giving me Stranger Things, Max. Okay, which one is she feeling more drawn towards? Going back through the window or like exploring this building?
Behind you, it's mostly dark. The only thing illuminating is like sort of a conical shape of light letting in to parts of the room, particularly where you're standing. Outside is familiar, and though it is raining, it's something that does Sylvie like the rain?
I would say probably not. She doesn't mind like the feeling of like light rain. Occasionally it reminds her of home, but for the most part, it's she's normally very heavily done and heavily made up, so the rain will ruin her hair, it will ruin her makeup, it just presents like social faux pas problems for her, so normally she's aggravated by the rain.
Well, you're in a particularly covered part of the alleyway where there's not going to be rain like dripping down upon you. There's a few puddles, but you easily avoid it.
I think she would just look a bit confused for a minute, and then if she feels like, okay, outside here, this seems like she's very much a gut instinct person, so she's like, if I can't rely on my senses because I'm obviously losing my damn mind right now, she will go with what her instinct tells her to do. So if it's pulled towards this window, she'll go, all right, a momentary, maybe I fainted, let's have some fun, let's explore. She'll walk into this sort of alleyway thing, and I think she will say like Giorgio's name just to see if he's around too, like, and seeing what she's seeing. So she'll be like, Giorgio, you here?
You don't elicit any sort of response. As you step out into the alleyway, what you mostly smell is just sort of like wet brick and random sort of detritus. You can smell dirt and the typical grime, not particularly overpowering. You're used to Chicago streets. But you turn and see that this is a very narrow alleyway and it leads right out onto the street. And there is a man sort of standing at the end of the alleyway, and you can see him striking up a cigarette. It just very normally you can see his not too far. You're pretty far. You're far enough away from him in the dark to where you can't see the entirety of the illumination of his face. But with the sparks of orange from his lighter, you can see, jaw, clean shaven, nose, furrowed brow, that sort of thing.
Do I recognize the street or the man?
The street feels familiar, but not in the way that you'd be able to instantaneously identify what it is. It just feels like it's sort of when you close your eyes and try to imagine something, it's very close, but it's not quite exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. It's a bit like a dream.
Yeah. But this dream is particularly lucid in the way that you may not feel asleep.
Yeah, okay. And I don't recognize the man at all?
No, just looks like a regular Joe. But he might have some idea of what's going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sylvie's a talker. When she's not sure what's going on, the first thing she's going to do is go and find out what's going on. So she's probably going to be like, Excuse me? She's gonna call out to this person that she can see and be like, I'm a little lost. Or do you know where we are in Chicago right now?
The man turns his head and looks over. Oh, another one. Yeah, we're on Main Street. You all right?
uh, the words "another one" will perturb her just a little, and she'll be like, "Oh, another what? Main Street. This looks. I guess it looks like Main Street. Or, but I was just. Am I dreaming?
Are you okay? He sort of asks that in a way that just sounds disingenuous.
Well, you don't need to mock me, sir. I'm clearly lost. I'm trying to find my friends. Have you seen Dodger or? But she see. I think that she's starting to like. Is she looking around? I want to see if there's anything that will be revealing to her that beyond the fact that she doesn't quite recognize where she is and she's turned around and suddenly she's in a completely different place. Like, if there's anything here that just makes her feel like this is not right, like what's reality and what's not. Was the place that she was just in the dream, or is she dreaming now?
You can make a sanity check for me.
Ooh, I can do that. Yes. Okay, so is it below the sanity that
Yes, you want to roll
I
below.
currently have? Yeah, so I have. So I currently have 37 sanity, and I rolled a 27.
You can tell that something here isn't right. You're not in full control of yourself. You're not in full control of anything around you. You feel like rather than having the sort of autonomy that you normally have as a human being, that something's controlling you in the sense that it is letting you see what it wants you to see. But it's also giving you the freedom to think and the freedom to understand that this may not be a real place. This place may not exist at all, but it's so lucid, and you sort of feel yourself compelled to reach out and touch something, and you ground yourself by touching brick. You can feel the rough brick beneath your fingers and how it's gotten slick from the rain. It feels real, but deep down inside, you know it's not. There's something just off-putting about this
I
place.
think at that point, when she kind of comes to this realization, she knows that she's been controlled by something, or something is only allowing her to see certain things, and this figure is the only figure that she has in front of her, and he's kind of looking at her with this slightly patronizing, disingenuous, like, oh, like he seems to know more about what's going on. So I think at that point, the kind of very charming, like, oh, please help me, veneer will just drop, and her whole body language will just kind of relax, and she'll look at him and go, all right, cut the bullshit. Where am I? Who are you?
I'm no one. I don't exist, right? He just completely changed his voice, his accent, just sort of a still calmness to it. You perceive me.
Says who?
You perceive me, yet you do not believe me to be reality?
This doesn't feel like reality.
What is the human perception, if not seeing and believing?
I can believe of many things that I don't see, sir, and vice versa.
You don't understand yet. It's okay. Neither did she. But you will in time.
Who? Who's she?
He just sort of turns on his heel and he starts walking out of the alleyway towards the sidewalk. This is
What? Am I supposed to follow you, or are you gonna just leave me here?
the beginning. This place. You will understand it in time. I will be sure that you do.
Oh, that's just such a mood right now. Like, good, better get on that then. I guess this is not like ringing any bells as to what on earth could be happening. There's nothing here that is making any kind of sense to Sylvie right now.
No. No, it's not. And he turns and he disappears from the alleyway. And you're left there still. And you realize that he was not the only figure in the alleyway. You sort of turn
All right,
and feel this presence. Go on. I want to hear what you want to say.
No, all I was gonna say was, okay, if there's something else here, does it feel as friendly as the other guy was?
No.
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 I don't think. I think whatever the opposite direction of where this thing is, she understands enough that this thing is not cool. She gonna run as fast as she can. She's like, I think she's running. She's just like, any minute now, Sylvia, just wake up. Any minute now.
You feel a figure encroaching behind you. You don't feel the vibration of footsteps. You don't hear the sound of heels hitting brick. You just know that something's growing closer to you.
That's terrifying.
And as you're getting to the end of the alleyway, the lights seem to get brighter and brighter until you just kind of fall over.
She screams as she falls over.
Before you hit the street, something catches you, and there's sort of a blackness for a moment as you're hoisted up to your feet, and Giorgio's in front of you. Are you a? Well, you just flung yourself through the window.
What?
Are you about yourself right now?
When I look through the window, is there a fire escape there?
No.
Of course. Okay, so what Giorgio just saw was just me walking towards the window and then just like climbing out. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Geronimo.
I think that she will take a moment, look around the office again, and then just kind of in this slightly like maybe slightly creepy way, she will say just kind of she'll kind of just push Giorgio off her, and she'll go back towards the door, and she'll say, we should go back to the others. Edward's friend's here, and then start making her way down the stairs.
He's gonna follow you and keep a very, very close eye on you because you don't seem about yourself, and he's making it very clear that you don't seem well.
She's not about herself. She's not like. I think that she's normally a person that can just very easily recover from things, but I think that whatever just happened just then has really shaken her, so she's taking a little bit longer to get back into oh no, I'm fine mode.
Okay. In that case, we're going to cut back to. I guess Dodger would be rejoining the group at this point with this particular box. If you remember this intricately carved box.
Oh yeah, I had the box. Just carrying a box.
Yeah, you're sort of carrying a box outside. You feel like your feet are carrying you towards the action going on, the sound of the car, and it sort of hits you all at once that, oh, I was making my way towards whatever the sound was outside, wherever these mobsters were going, wherever Edward was going. And you're still looking down at this intricately carved box. And as you see it in the sunlight, it looks to be, it feels like hardwood, but it just looks like a series of brambles, just like all twisted and tangled around one another. It's not sharp, it's not prickly, it's just elaborate. Like so elaborate that this must have taken well over a year to make something like this. You couldn't even fathom how it was made. It's like magic to you. It doesn't make any sense. Such is the nature of magic.
How big is it again? It's
it's
small,
pretty
isn't it, if I remember
pretty
rightly?
small. It's fairly small. It's about I'd say maybe like 5 or 6 inches in all on all sides. So it's just like a cube.
So it's like you can carry it.
Just a cool box. Nothing more, nothing less. There's nothing interesting about this box. Okay.
A lot of contemplation, but I think in Dodger's mind she's trying to rationalize exactly what happens. So she's kind of going through every medical or medicine-related thing that she can think of that's just happened to her.
You probably just
nothing's adding up. Because
the only thing you can fathom is you experience the state of psychosis due to stress.
You kind of like that towards the end of the sentence. What did you say?
I was saying the only thing that you could really fathom happening was that you entered a state of psychosis due to stress.
Yeah, that is like probably the forefront of her mind. That, or there is a chemical in this place making her go insane. Those are the two options that she currently has in her brain.
There's a chemical in the warehouse that frickin' Dodger's gay.
Well, all right, yeah. So she's probably just gonna try and wander towards. What was that?
I said I don't even know if anybody got that reference, but I oh, that guy's.
Of course it did.
No, I totally got that part.
I spend too much time on the internet.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah. She's gonna head towards where she thinks, or the noises. Try and regroup with someone else rather than being on her own in this. But she's probably not being very quiet. She's probably borderline sprinting.
Yeah. So this is where all of you sort of
stupid SpongeBob moments in my head.
I need people.
So all of you sort of convene upon one another's paths. You're all sort of end up outside, and that's where we're with Edward and Charles, who is having what appears to be a panic attack, and Edward has just seen something very intriguing.
Yeah.
Am I?
Eddie is just like patting Charles on the shoulder and just. You still have your gun on you, by any chance?
Maybe.
All right. Take it easy. If you have it, just be ready in case something happens. But I think we have this. Just pats him on the shoulder. And he's going to slowly stand up and turn around to see the two of you. And just...
Both of us, like...
Shell shock on the face.
Actually has, like, the blinking face for a second, just like, oh. Welcome back?
I think Sylvie's probably the only one to notice this. Dodger normally has quite a nervous exterior. She's quite a, like, twitchy person. But this time she seems a bit overly, sweaty and twitchy. Like it's a bit more than you think.
Hey, Dodger's looking all sweaty again.
Dodger would probably notice the same. She's so used to seeing Sylvie like so smiley and put together and just coming down the stairs and being like, "What's going on? Hey, where's the party?" That she's like just watching her, just like she's got out of her like bag, she's got like a fan, and she's just fanning herself like furiously, trying to like, and she also has gone very like pale and looked, and she's just watching like she's watching this scene unfold in front of her, almost with an air of like she's seen it before and it's weird. Like she's just like, but and then when she kind of looks across, like to just because at this point Sylvie's gonna just keep checking her surroundings to make sure that everything is as it should be. Like she's waiting for herself to be pulled back into some weirdness again. And she'll see you, Dodger, and she'll just catch your eye, and there'll just be this moment where she just looks absolutely terrified, and then she'll just kind of, and then
There's
go back to fanning herself.
I reckon in that moment when they lock eyes, there's a sort of a mutual understanding that both of them have just seen some fucking weird shit. Like,
I gotta
oh.
He's gonna give you this look of like, I gotta talk to you, but like it's not like now's not the time. So and Giorgio is next to her, just keeps looking at her like he's just like
So Red,
this box like this. She's holding it up like.
So Red, the thing that Eddie just saw, to make sure I got this description right, I basically saw the shadow of some weird thing with horns on the wall, right, like down in the street.
That's what you feel you saw, yes.
Okay. And when I recall, when I looked, there was nothing. It's just
you saw the
there
shadow,
was the shadow,
and then there was
right.
You couldn't find where the shadow came from.
Right. So Edward right now, his posture is a little guarded. He normally doesn't carry himself in like that way of a guy who's ready to fight. That's the farthest thing that he is. He views himself as an intellectual and prefers to avoid that. But you can see just from the subtle changes in his posture that he is like straightened up a little bit more. His chest is puffed out a little more. And he's actually got his hand on his pistol, which he's not fully drawn out of the holster yet because he's not a fucking maniac. But he basically has his hand on. He's just looking around. I do think we should probably get inside. Something's wrong. Come on, Charles. Come on. And he's going to offer his hand to him to try to pull him up.
Charles manages to stand himself up on his own and kind of waves you off.
All right, let's get in. He's going to go over to the car and see if he can't start it up and pull it into the truck, into the a little closer towards where we are, just in case we need to jump in that bad boy and haul ass. He's going to turn to Giorgio as we're walking back and just go, Giorgio, have you seen anything odd past few minutes? I mean, dead standing beside.
Sylvie fucking lost her mind, yeah.
Giorgio's gonna like look at you, and you can tell his eyes want to tear away from your face, but he knows these sorts of things well, and he doesn't see you as a threat. He just sees it in such a way that just like he's been interrogated before, and he doesn't want to give up anything right now. That he thinks that could be, potentially dangerous if he gave it up.
He holds his hands up, like hand off the pistol now that we're getting towards inside. Look, I made this clear before, but I'll make it clear again. I'm not playing games. I'm not here to overthrow anybody or pose a risk to anyone. My only goal is to get that damn train moving. And to do that, we gotta survive to get there. Now, I just saw something which could have just been light play, or it could have been something bad. And I'm not sure what it is. So if there's anything you've seen... And he literally just holds his hands out like, I'm putting everything on the table with you, buddy. Like...
No. No, I don't think I have.
All right. Well, I found my friend, thankfully. He gestures towards Charles.
Was that the one making all the
Shaken.
noise outside of the hotel?
That'd be him.
Good. I should
He's a
probably
good driver and a good shot.
Coat, but
He's a good driver, and he's a reliable man. Plus, he served in the war. If you want another engineer, and he gestures towards him. He's not as technically skilled as me, but he's in the same wheelhouse.
how providential.
And the Model T will be nice. Another car for the pool. At least until we can get this going.
Sure. Why don't you go get to work on that?
What about you two? What did you find? All right, he's going to start doing that, but as he walks by, he's going to go, you two all right? As he's walking past both of you.
Dodger's just staring at the floor with this little box in her hand doing this. Like, just tapping it and trying not to think. You just confirmed a theory that I think there might be something causing some kind of, psychosis. I'm not sure if it's a PTSD related item or stress, but
PTSD is not a thing.
there's just something weird going on.
It would be
Oh,
called.
not a thing, sorry.
It would be
Just
called
shell
shell
shock would be the term they use.
shell shock. Okay, retcon that and say that she said shell shock instead of PTSD. There's something very weird going on. I woke up and I had this in my hand. I don't even know what it is.
Why don't you have a seat for a moment, Dodger? Just relax. I'm just going to finish this thing. As I recall, I rolled so stupid high that we basically finished it. Like, it's just...
Yeah, no, it was literally just a matter of time at that point. Like, yeah, no.
You know, it takes a lot to shake a nurse. It takes a lot to shake a nurse, but that really, something happened.
What does he just go up and shake?
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know.
Sylvie will tell you.
Grab the
Just
nurse.
shaking.
Maracas.
Please don't shake me.
Please don't shake nurses. It's me.
Please don't shake the nurses, please.
He's just going to put a hand on Dodger's shoulder and just gently guide Dodger to sit, like on a box. Just be like, just take a moment and breathe. Let it pass. I'm not a medic, but I served in the war long enough to know how that goes. You'll need a moment to collect yourself at least, right, nurse?
Just staring at the floor now, like sort of going into a sort of disassociative state.
I think that the thing that Edward and Dodger and probably Giorgio would notice most about Sylvie right now is she is being very quiet.
I was about to mention that.
Which is like, normally she's just like, oh yeah, I'm fine. This is what I've been doing for the last half hour. But she's just like being really quiet and she's just watching and processing the fact that you were like, I saw something weird. Did either of you see something weird? And Dodger looks like she's about to like keel over and she's like, I saw something weird. And she's just steeling herself to, because she was ready. She was almost ready to just be like, okay, let's just act like nothing happened and go back into like Sylvie is doing fine mode and convincing everyone that it's all good. But now she's just a little bit like, I saw something too. You think there's some kind of explanation behind it?
Edward's gonna raise his eye as he hears that and just be like,
I have a couple of explanations, but none of them seem to line up properly, and I'm getting a little bit freaked out by it. The first one is that we are experiencing some form of shell shock from seeing the dead rise, or there's a chemical or something in this factory place that's causing us all to have hallucinations. But I woke up with this in my hand, and I don't know what it is.
Why don't we?
Eddie's gonna go over towards the truck, grab his pipe wrench, start working again.
what did you see? Just looking at like between the two of them, like.
Who is around right now? Is it just Giorgio and these two, and the others are kind of still looking around at
No,
things and exploring the warehouse?
the mobsters had stopped to see the commotion with the vehicle, but Giorgio's like going over and telling them to just get back to work, and that's what he's trying to urge you guys to do after he convinces the other mooks to just get back to it. Why don't we take a breather? You might be just overheated. For your sake, I recommend, and when I say recommend, I say you're going to take a break. You look at Sylvie specifically, like, I know what you did, and I'm not going to tell anybody, but.
Hold up.
Maybe just a little sit down just for a minute. All right. And then she's just gonna, and again, very Sylvie, like she's not even gonna try to find something to sit down on. She's just gonna sit on this horrible, dank, gross floor. Like, just not even thinking about her outfit right now. So whatever this is kind of shaking her a lot because she's not like doing her usual Sylvie behaviors.
Could I check my my little medicine bag to see if I have anything that will sort of calm people's nerves? Some sort of medicine that can calm people down in some way.
Laudanum.
Oh God.
Oh. Do I have anything in there that's like used as a sort of like
amnesia?
Relaxant? Not amnesia, Christ, no.
Something to relax.
Foundation.
No, that's just that's the game franchise that I think of whenever anyone says laudanum. It's just
oh, good God.
I'm sure
she would carry anything like that.
Light sedative type thing to calm people.
Okay. I think she's probably gonna take one herself.
Not an expert in late 1920s medicine, to be fair. So.
Neither am I. That's why I was like,
I think that
something.
Sylvie has her own method of calming herself down, which is she opens up a bag, she takes out her perfume, and she dabs a little bit on her wrist, and then she takes a nice long sniff. It's the closest thing she has to essential oils in the 1920s, but she's just like, okay, all right.
I think I should probably do a wee psychology check on Sylvie to see how she's holding up mentally. Because I think this might be needed for now. 41, I think that's just a success. Hang on. Yeah, it's just a normal success.
So, you two definitely saw some things, and you can see by the tells that Sylvie is not about herself yet. And but what you can figure quickly is that Sylvie, whatever she saw, she handled it a lot better than you, and she might have even processed some of the things that she saw. You, however, are having trouble even remembering the things that you saw. The figures, the smaller figure, the taller figure, they're just slowly. I say slowly, but like quickly, like waking up from a dream that you're like, oh, that was a cool dream, and like it's almost immediately escaping you.
Okay. Just gonna break one of the pills in half and then go and sit beside Sylvie and go, are you okay?
Dodger, I know that you're a scientist, okay? And the theories that you've come up with they explain some things.
Mm-hmm.
But and I don't think that she's exactly trying to be like quiet at this point. She's not like shouting, but she's just talking. I feel like in this small group of 4, everyone is aware at this point that people have seen some stuff, and they're kind of just bouncing around theories as to why. Even if Giorgio is like, I don't know what any of you saw. But she's like, I guess I'm a little hesitant to talk about it because my perspective is always going to be one of something of a more spiritual nature. I'm just interested in that particular field of study, and what I saw speaks more to that than it does any kind of logical explanation. And you can tell that she's waiting to be judged because she's sat with an engineer and a nurse and a guy that definitely thinks that she's entirely lost her mind because she just tried to jump out of a window. So she's now going, maybe it's the occult.
Was just a
he's like, quite frankly, what I saw is what just happened between him and his friend. I saw it before it happened.
Okay. Oh, just as a quick side note while we're talking about this, is it not like a common practice back then that all nurses were practiced in religion of some form?
Yeah, that was very.
No, I thought that was a thing.
Oh, that's correct. Is it not?
I thought that was. I
No.
thought that was a thing.
Not in the major cities.
Oh, okay.
Like,
just thought
I
naturally
will say
that-
most hospitals at the time were owned by like different religious organizations, but in like major cities, you'd have huge hospitals that are not. So, I mean, that's obviously up to Dodger, but it's not a guarantee that a nurse would have any religious bearing whatsoever.
See,
in
my
a place
head,
like Chicago,
in my head, I thought she came from quite a religious themed hospital.
well, then there you go. That's up to you. Your
uh,
character. I'm just saying it's
I
not
don't know.
a
I
guarantee.
That's okay. I just had to make sure that that was a thing that was kind of common knowledge, but that's fine. She does look at you kind of funny, but then sort of realizes like you might actually be onto something. You're just, huh?
It was a vision. I know I sound crazy, all right, but I saw it. I know what I saw, and I know. And she points at like where Chuck is, and she's like, I knew what he looked like before I met him, at least from afar. And then she kind of starts rambling, and I think like this would speak a little bit more to your experiences, but she's very vague and very quick about these details. So she's more freaked out by the fact that she saw something happen before it happened, and the rest she's still kind of mulling over and processing. But she's like, and then there was this alleyway and a figure, a person, and I talked to him a little bit, but and then I was and then she'll kind of glance at Giorgio, and she's like, and then I woke up, and Giorgio was asking if I was okay. I had a turn of some kind.
That's a lot for me to process. I don't. I'm gonna start off by saying I don't think you're crazy because I saw an alleyway too. I was walking down over there, and suddenly I was back on the streets as well. And then I ran and I woke up with this. And she's kind of like playing with she's still playing with she's like fiddling with the box in her hands. It's a nervous thing. I don't know what it is. I can't remember much else.
She's gonna, when you say you ran, she's gonna look at you very seriously, and she's gonna say, what were you running from?
A tall creature. I had teeth. That's all I remember.
Does that at all speak to anything that Sylvie experienced? Because I don't think she really saw much of the creature, but would she have like felt teeth and got a similar vibe from it?
You remember feeling this sort of presence of something that was much larger than you behind you. That's what you recall.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think she'll just nod slowly, but say nothing. She won't like confirm or deny.
Look, I have this medicine that makes you relax a little bit. I've half the dosage if you want it. It helps.
She'll
Maybe
take
we
it,
Go
but
ahead.
she won't like take it yet. She'll just
Hold on to it.
pop it in her bag, like wrap it up and pop it in her bag.
Okay.
Eddie's been dead silent this whole time. He's been working. He's not the kind of person usually that comes up against danger and he doesn't freeze. He's the kind of person that his mind immediately begins ticking like, okay, this is a new factor. How do we process it? What do we do to deal with it? He's very, I don't want to say goal oriented because that sounds like a fucking 2000s PowerPoint, but basically. And so he's been listening to you two talk about it. And he's going to look over at where Charles is because I figure he's on his back on the underside of the truck, just putting the last things together on probably one of those, I can't remember what it's called, like the carts, like the man carts that you slide around on the bottom.
Yeah.
He just wants to see how is Charles looking at this point.
He seems to have collected himself. He's just sort of like sitting on probably just a random cray with his like fingers crossed, or like his fingers interwoven with each other, and he's kind of looking at the ground. He seems to have properly grounded himself, but he's just sort of processing everything still.
Okay. So if Charles is still within like earshot of all this, he's gonna just stay quiet about this, but he's just sort of nodding, putting it all together in his head. Eventually he's gonna roll off the cart once this is done, close the hood. He's not gonna slam it, he's just gonna push it down and then do the clunk where he pushes the last bit of it down until it's secure. He's going to go inside and see if he can... He's not going to try to turn the engine over. He's just going to turn the key to make sure everything's got power. And when that's good, he's going to pop out and turn to Giorgio and go, I'm pretty sure we're ready to go at this point, at least for the truck. What's the word?
Well, we're going to take what we can get because it's starting to get dark outside. Well, it'll be sundown at least within a few hours, at least. So we're going to take what we got, move out. Is this truck fully up and running? Is it going to be able to handle the trailer?
He's going to take a look at it, and you described this thing as like, this is a truck. This is like an actual like heavy supply truck.
Yeah, it's that modern of this era, it's an equivalent of a semi.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's probably one of the same types of trucks they would retrofit with like an anti-aircraft gun in a couple of decades. So, yeah. So looking at that, he's going to take a look. It should easily. The engine seems like it's fine. Electrical's all good. I haven't tried to turn it over yet because, well, want to avoid making that much noise until we're ready. Other than that, she's good to go.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with Charles's jalopy out back?
Well, I think it'd be good if somebody drove ahead, made sure the path was clear for this thing.
He's gonna look over to Charles, and I know it's been a lot for you, friend, but think you'd be willing to do one more drive for the day?
You really want this crackpot to be driving after what just happened? I don't mean to be
He's gonna put his
rude.
hand
Let me put this in a way that you might understand. He seems like one beer shy of a six-pack right now.
Can I get a quick glance over at Charles to see if he's got like any injuries or that, and sort of?
He just seems sort of
Your
tattered.
general like glancing check.
He seems sort of tattered. And he doesn't like look wounded or anything. He just seems like he's been through the woods. Probably.
Eddie's gonna just hold a hand out to Giorgio. Like, not like a stop, but like just a gentle, like, Charles here. Charles here is the only reason I knew about these things before they happened. At least before they reached me. He's also the only reason we managed to survive and how we got the kid. And he survived all alone in this city and in the woods with no help for 24 hours. If there's anyone who we could consider reliable, it'd be him. That said, if Charles is willing, if you're willing, it might not be a bad idea to have someone ride with you, Charles. Or they could drive and you could man a gun. It's his car. He's a good driver. And he's gonna put a hand on Giorgio. And he's done a lot. I think he's earned my trust.
Giorgio take one of his big hands and put it over yours and just take it off of his jacket. I'm driving.
He'll move it. His hands, by the way, are clean. He's the kind of guy that cleans his hands thoroughly after a job. He's not going to get a giant fucking oil print on his jacket. He's not that kind of prick.
This is an $150 jacket. I'd like to take good care of it.
Fair.
God.
Jesus Christ.
Giorgio is the knight of this game. You know, Knight from our Cyberpunk game?
Yeah.
Giorgio
Oh,
is
yeah.
this game.
Yeah.
No, the knight was Dearman, but he died, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Get back.
Does that seem reasonable to you, Giorgio? You have someone ride with him, make sure everything's copacetic. You can get a hand either behind the wheel or with a gun. I imagine that might help you feel a little bit better, Charles. And we'll all go meet up back where we came from. And we'll get a chance to catch up, relax, and fill in. You can get some sleep and some food in you. And not have to be anywhere near that nonsense. He gestures vaguely towards the mountain.
All right, look at him. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to drive. I'm going to have one of my people be a gunner. And Baldy over there is going to be with the rest of you. Because I don't think he's about himself. I'm not a, what do you call that? You look over at Dodger. A psycho, help me out
here.
Does Dodger know what he's trying to say?
He's trying to
she
psychologist or like psychoanalyst.
Are you meeting like a patient of some kind? I don't quite follow.
Oh, never mind. I'm not a genius.
I think Sylvie just goes psychologist
in
the background.
Thank you. But
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Anyway,
I get it.
He's not.
And that's fair.
Ouch.
Charles, are you all right with this? The car will be safe. I can vouch. Giorgio's solid. And you'll get to ride in the truck together. It's as safe as it's going to get.
Charles just sort of nods, like he's just like he'd rather not be doing anything at all right now. If he could just sit and catch himself, that's kind of what he wants to do.
If you don't mind, I could probably take a look at his injuries while we're on the move. Give him a rest. I don't imagine sleeping in the dirt's very comfortable.
All right. I'm ready to go when you all are then.
All right, people, let's move out.
I think that Sylvie just kind of strides out. Like, she's normally waiting to be shown where to go, but she just strides out towards the cars and she just kind of says, I just want to find my brother. And then just goes.
He's doing great.
Yeah, we know. Sylvie don't know that yet. She just I think at this point, like, she's just kind of shaken and like it's one of those rare moments. She's normally very like, my brother, so protective. Like, I wish he'd just let me have a little bit of like freedom and not be so crowding. But I think this is just one of those rare moments where she's retracted into child Sylvie mode and been like, I just want my brother. So she's trying to be like, keep it together, but she's like, let's just go find my brother, and then.
Okay.
All right. Edward, that's your name. Do you know how to drive this thing?
So he has Drive Auto 20. So Omni knows that means he's probably not doing any crazy stunts, but it does mean he's trained to drive. The question is, do you think that's justifiable enough to drive one of these things? Because running a train is not the same as driving a fucking car.
Right. You can make a
Sure, he's handled the auto,
but you're not going to drive something this large without issue. You could.
Yeah. It's just, it wouldn't be easy. That's fair. Yeah, I figure he handled the motor pool when he was in World War I, but there's a difference between moving like tanks back and forth on the tarmac and driving them in battle, and he's never done that part. So he would look at it. I can, but it's not my expertise. If you have someone better, I wouldn't blame you for putting them there. Just drive slow and don't do anything crazy. Not me parallel parking this thing.
All right. I need to go talk with my people. I think what's going to happen is I did make a promise to you, which I might be regretting a little bit. I'm going to help Sylvie find a brother. But I think it'd be best if we prioritize this. So I'm going to get my people to take this truck back. I'm going to get them to take that old beater over there. He'd point to the Model T. We're going to ride in the 6th door. And I'm probably going to get my ass chewed out for this. But I'm going to stay with you, the 3 of you, until we find what we're looking for. Not because I like you. It's because I don't trust you to be able to do something without getting yourselves killed. You're not about yourselves. None of yous are.
I think that Sylvie might give a little smile at that and just look at him and just be like, I don't know, I think you like us a little bit.
And at that line, that's when Dodger cracks a smile.
Yeah, because Dodger knows that he's very much a sort of like, he's very jovial and friendly, and he very much wants to help you guys out. Because
he's definitely a teddy bear, and he definitely likes us.
Yeah, he's both. Yes.
It's not like I like you, Mooks, or something.
Not like I like you.
Not like I like you, idiot.
Oh no, he's a tsundere.
So, Eddie's gonna
don't describe
listen to that, and he's gonna turn to Charles again. You want to go with the motorcade back? You'll have to go back to the hotel. Probably gonna get interviewed, but you tell them you're with me. You're gonna help me get the train running. You might get a chance to rest. Do you want to go with them, or you want to stick with us? You've been through enough as it is, Charles. I don't want to make you do anything you wouldn't be comfortable with.
Well, I ain't gonna turn chicken. I just needed them all. Maybe you don't trust me behind the wheel. He'd point at Giorgio, and Giorgio would be like, I don't. Kind of like giving that look like, I really don't. And but I can still handle myself with a firearm. I don't know what I did with my my side-by-side, but
he's gonna reach over and grab he's gonna grab one of the heavy tools on the workman's bench, any of them. Like, let's be real. A wrench, a ball peen hammer, it's all equally lethal, and he's going to toss him one. Charles here has been killing more of those things out there than any of us, probably. If he wants to come, I think he's a good man to bring.
Fine. I'm driving. He'd start walking towards the car, and well, he'd go and give a brief to his mobsters, and you guys are sort of watching him talk to his compatriots, quote unquote, and they look exasperated. They're like, "Are you really fucking doing this?" They're looking over. They're pointing in you guys' direction, like, you know, you can tell they're saying all sorts of vulgar and terrible things about you guys, about how you bubble, just, you know. And Giorgio just puts both of his hands up, just like, "I'm not hearing any more of it." Gestures towards the truck and says something to them in Italian, and they all just sort of stop. Giorgio's not the leader of this operation. Nobody's like a leader in this group. They're all just soldats. And they start making their way towards the truck. They don't seem happy about this whole situation, and some of them more than others. But Giorgio makes his way back over after a few moments, and in the middle of this conversation they're having, who has the highest listen check? Actually, let's just have listen checks all around.
It's not Sylvie.
I think it might actually be me.
I'm going to re-roll that. Why not? Let's do it. There you go. Success.
Gotcha.
Are we all just
Oh, I
rolling?
failed.
Yeah, I failed to. Well,
Nope.
I failed by 5.
oh,
Damn.
so Eddie succeeds. Eddie is. I'm imagining Eddie's like sizing up the vehicle, figuring out where he wants to sit, blah blah blah. Since you have the whole vehicle to yourselves now, rather than being packed in with a bunch of mobsters. As the Chicago outfit's going about loading up this truck, you hear like a very distant, and you know this sound. You're very familiar with the sound. You hear like a very, and then like another sort of like popping, and you know that you heard gunshots. But it's sort
He's
of
going to hold his hand out for a second, like literally just to get attention. Giorgio, you hear that?
Hear what, pal? There's a lot of stuff being moved around in here. You got to be more specific.
Gunshots, Giorgio.
What direction?
Very clear. He's going to point.
You sure?
I served in the war, Giorgio. I know what a gun sounds like.
You don't need to serve in the war to know what a gun sounds like. He turns the side of his face.
Giorgio, but I heard him a lot.
Sorry, Sylvie. Just imagine Sylvie. Just, I know what a gun sounds like now.
Something tells me I heard it better than all of you.
Well, I mean, yeah, Doomslayer, you fucking did. More intimately than the rest of us now, for fucking sure.
Oh, Christ.
Love you, buddy.
If I live through this shit in red, can I get a dope eye patch?
Yeah, for real.
If I live. Which,
If you-
I mean, you don't have to.
I don't have to.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
thank
make sure
you.
you live. I'm gonna make sure you live if we
We're
find
just gonna
you.
wrap you up in bubble wrap and give you a fucking bike helmet and tape
Listen,
it to your head.
Bubble wrap wasn't invented
me
yet.
the-
You're shit out of luck.
Just get me to
I
his corpse.
know.
I will bring him back from the dead, in the good way.
But yeah, so Eddie's pointing in that direction. Did it sound like it was automatic?
No, there was just sort of like a pop and then a louder sort of pop.
2 gunshots, you say?
Mm-hmm.
It was an exchange, for sure. Someone firing at someone. Or 2 weapons, different caliber, different timing.
That's mighty impressive.
Okay, Egg, you seem to know what you're talking about. Let's see if you're right. And
I
for
don't know
everybody-
half the words you just said, but it was impressive sounding, I gotta say.
he determined that there are two
See,
different guns,
Hannibal.
but how long?
Okay, I don't need you to explain it to me
You
again.
just told me you didn't
I
understand.
just wanted to be part of the conversation, Dodger.
Oh.
Conversations.
All right. Let's get a move on.
Just gonna get in the car. He said
We're
it.
just bickering in the
She's
background.
just saying this and she's just striding to us. All right, Dodger, I get it.
He's just gonna check his
Yes,
revolver. He's
thank
gonna
you.
check his revolver, and he's gonna check Charles's to make sure we're both loaded up, and he's gonna get in.
Thank you, Naris, for the resub.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hearts. Much love. I appreciate you. Hope you're doing good. Okay. You guys get loaded into the car, and I'm going to cut back over to Hannibal.
Hey. So it's a con.
I'm just waiting for Red to say, I'm gonna go back over to Hannibal. You're dead now. I'm gonna go back over to
You could have died. Let's moving on.
Okay, that would have been the funniest thing you could possibly do.
I'm not going to lie. I did think about doing something like that, but I was like, nah, that's mean. So let's see here. I'm not that
It's
brutal.
a con, right? If I start on, if I'm dying, it's con like every turn.
Let's see here. Damn it. I'm just reading here.
I mean, obviously you can be like, oh, he's fine, and he has a dope eye patch now, and he's even crazier. But
Please don't do
Okay.
that.
So, some time has passed. You don't know how much, but you wake up to the sound of a foreign language being sort of spoken and exchanged, and one person is speaking it not so well, but they're doing their best. Where were you in Europe?
so I was actually, because I did pull this up. I have this written down, so give me a second to check
Mhm.
because let's see here. So I was in Europe. Let me double check.
Europe?
I was in the Verdun front, so uh, France.
I was gonna say France.
France.
So the language that they're speaking sounds
Oh, I
familiar.
found it.
Oh.
Battle of Belleau Wood. So during the German Spring offenses in World War One, near the Mom River in France.
Excellent. So in that regard, you recognize the language, but it's not exactly what you would expect to hear. What you hear sounds like German, but you know it's not German. It's just so slightly different that it isn't quite German. I know Hannibal isn't stupid, so he'd be able to pick up on that.
Sounds German, but it's not quite.
Yeah, these two people are exchanging, and as you sort of like slowly come to consciousness and like your eyes open, you can see that fellow that shot you, and it sort of like comes to reason that like, oh, this fellow shot you, and for some reason he kept you alive. And then you see a woman that is much shorter than him. She has this short brown haircut, and she seems to be very upset with him. He's bandaged, and they're having this exchange in this language that is not quite German. And she's pointing at you, and then he throws his hands up, and he's trying his best. You can tell he's struggling to try to put to words what he is feeling in this language that is not his native tongue. And then he looks over at you, and you see that half of his face that is practically skeletal.
Do I think they're speaking Polish or Russian or Austrian?
Polish is a good assumption.
I'm going to. I assume I'm extremely weak.
Yes, you
Uh,
are. You
but
are
just
still majorly wounded.
either give me a cigarette or kill me.
The woman looks relieved. The man does not. Oh, so now you wake up. I honestly wish,
Now I wake up.
between you and I really wish you'd just died. You would have saved me a lot of trouble. Really, a lot of trouble. But lucky for you, my better half
And
is a lot more sympathetic than I am.
I'm going to look up at him. Between you and me, yeah, I wish so too. But bastards like us, we tend to stick around, don't we?
Don't I know it? The woman comes over and puts her hand on his arm, like trying to like push him away. And she starts looking you over. And she starts trying to talk to you in Polish, but you clearly don't understand it.
I didn't catch the back half of that. Can you give me one more time?
I was saying that she is
She's
trying
to talk to me.
Yeah, she's trying to speak to you in Polish, but you clearly don't understand it.
Yeah. If I can move my arm, I'm gonna gesture to my ear and just shake my head. I can't understand you.
She's asking if you're all right, which you're not. You're missing an eye, and I'm sure you've noticed that.
Anything else?
Don't know. Bullet went clean through. Didn't seem to do any damage to the brain. Shockingly enough.
I was a Marine, boy. There ain't nothing in there.
Oh, aye, but you got a hard skull, don't you, boy?
That's right.
The woman's like
And-
swatting him away because she knows he's saying like mean things.
As she's like pushing him away, and be like, "It's fine. I only needed one. God gave me two of them."
He'd be muttering something about how he should do the same to your testicles. But the woman's just sort of pushing him on the chest.
It's actually a little bit. I got a little bit of respect for that. Alright.
This
is my new best friend, right? I like this guy better than anyone else I've met so far.
Bonding over
This
sociopathy.
guy's my favorite.
I like
but I'm going to look up at her, and I assume that she understands me. But I'm still gonna try and gesture and like make a sign like, "Can I have a cigarette?"
she'd look over at the scarred man and he'd just gesture like, go ahead. And she finds a pack of cigarettes near the foot of the bed and offers you one on a lighter.
I'll take it and just have this like feel up to, like, I assume I am fully bandaged on the side of my face.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're covered in gauze.
Now, I apologize for having to shoot you, but I have work I'm told to do. It's the only way I can get to my sister.
You're looking for a woman?
I am. Sylvie LaBelle, she's an actress.
The woman seems to recognize the name, but the man clear over his head.
Yes!
Boom.
Another fan.
And the woman just like talking to him, and she just like seems kind of excited about the whole notion. And he like waves his hand. Don't matter who she was, matters who she is. Can be.
She's smart. She's very smart.
Had
She
to
can
be
get her
smart.
way in and out of any place.
Those boys that were out by the cars. I take it they were yours.
They alive?
Oh,
Shame.
I hanged them
Did
by
you
their
get the doors open?
knife.
Oh. Well. I assume you took my gun
No, I just
and all
left.
my ammunition. Then you're dumber than you look if you just left it.
You're dumber than you look if you can't pick up on
Look.
sarcasm. The woman again is just like, shut up, stop being mean to him.
And I'm, with my one eye left, going to look at him. There's no way that you're ever going to understand me and I'm ever going to care. So, why am I alive?
Because she wanted me to leave you that way. Keep in mind, if it were up to me, I would have skinned you and hung your rib bones around the place. But in your wallet,
Well, I appreciate.
she found something. Picture of your sister. Had a hunch. And I'm a bit sweet on the ladies. Soft for 'em, I mean. So,
There was 2 pictures in there. Where are they?
safe and sound. They're in the trunk at the bed.
What do you want?
I want the bloody outfit to stay out of the plaza. That's what I want. There are just women and children here.
I was told there was a lot of North Side. Keeps been attacking. Needs to die. They're a
Ain't
friend.
nothing, ain't nothing left of them. They turned tail, they took off, they joined up at the north side, or they joined up with the outfit, or they just hit the road. Whatever's here ain't worth it no more. Never was.
Then I have a couple of questions myself that are very important, and then we'll be figuring out what we can do next. Did you see a truck full of supplies move? Big truck. 2 people behind the wheel.
I saw a truck moving. Not too far from here, perhaps a few blocks southwest, southeast. I keep an eye on things.
Okay. Now, my sister, smart as she is, has a poor choice of company that she keeps. Have you seen any gangster types? She might be with a nurse.
Gangster types.
Yeah.
I am a gangster type. I don't know if you noticed.
I don't really give a shit. Did you see her or not?
Leave it to an American to be making demands on his deathbed.
Yeah,
No.
that's right, motherfucker. This is the thing. I care about one thing in this world, and that's to get my sister out of Chicago. I don't care what happens to me. I don't care what happens to you. I don't give a fuck about this whole world. All right? She lives. She's the one good person left. So, did you see her or not?
I saw a car headed this way.
Well, I suppose then the real question is, are you just going to let me languish here in this bed? You going to kill me? You going to turn me loose?
If I had
You can
any
keep
say,
everything. Of course, I need those pictures.
if I had any say in it, I'd drive an ice pick through your good eye. But I don't. I'm gonna let you stay here till I figure out the situation with that boiler coming this way. If that's your people coming to find you, I'm gonna kill every single one of them, and I'm gonna burn them alive, and make sure that you get to watch. I got the window right here. But if it's your sister, I'll reconsider.
I'll tell you what. A single thing happens to my sister, you better hope the devil himself can hold me back from mutilating your fucking soul in hell. Now,
Your old talk.
look me in my one good fucking eye and ask me if I'm gonna talk. Come on.
You all right now, Mac? You all right now?
For now.
The woman would take him by the arm and gesture for them to leave the room. I'll let you think about some things for a while. And he'd look over at you. One good person in the world, eh?
Say that one. I only caught one good person.
He just said one good person in the world, eh? Like he was questioning you.
Yeah. But one good person left.
There's plenty if you know where to look. And if there aren't any, we can make more. They're still children. They can still be taught to be good. This is a chance to restart, I think. But do what you will with that, soldier boy.
They won't be like her.
He'd leave the room.
Okay.
With the Polish girl on arm.
Can I move at all?
Oh no, he restrained you.
I figured. What am I at hit point wise?
You are at 1.
Love it. And then I'm going to. I'm gonna say Han will do something he has not done in a really very long time and genuinely pray. And you and I had a deal that I made a very long time ago. and I killed Jean-Pierre. It's not... I said I'd be willing to suffer. I'd be willing to suffer as long as it takes. My suffering doesn't need to be hers. So whatever the fuck you're doing up there, you leave her alone. It's not fair. And if you're not kind, you're not just, you're not powerful enough, then what the fuck kind of god are you anyway? And then I'll just lay back and ideally pass out, but I will just wait.
The pain's a lot, and the pangs sort of knock you out eventually. Just the whole, your body cannot stand to be awake as long as it has. But you're unconscious. And cutting back over to everybody piled in the car. It is getting
That
dark.
was an excellent prayer.
Yeah, honestly.
Thank you.
Amen. Anyway.
Father, who art in heaven. Who the fuck do you think?
Hold up.
Father who art in heaven, fuck off.
Moved me.
Amen. Like, what the fuck?
Okay. So, all of you are
I
piled.
realized,
What's up?
I was gonna say, I realized one thing, which is after he shot me, I was like, oh, that's right, for the Thompson, I could have made 3 shots.
We'll just say you didn't have
Could have
time.
just killed him.
Okay.
Oh well. I think it's worked out in your favour, so maybe.
Alright. I like it better this way. Now you can get a sweet eye patch. That's what I wanted.
That's what I want.
What a sweet dog.
Oh.
Hell yeah. So, well, a lot of you are packed into this boiler. It is starting to get dark. Headlights have been switched on, and Giorgio is maneuvering this massive vehicle. His old cars are fucking huge, and this is a 6-door. He's doing his best to navigate through these streets that are just filled with straggling dead, abandoned vehicles, etc. And he's like white knuckle grip on the steering wheel. Just sitting shotgun.
Eddie, 100%. Just from the fact that, honestly, he's keeping an eye on the truck. This thing's resilient, it's big, it's heavy, pulls a lot of weight, and it's just freshly fueled up. And all it takes is one thing in the undercarriage the wrong way, and that shit ain't running anymore. So he's up here just in case he needs to pop out immediately and get to work. Also because, frankly, he thinks that, you know, he needs to be... He's probably the most sane of our party at the moment.
Excuse me?
I'm
Okay.
also offended by that. Hang on a minute.
Neither of you two have shit to say because Eddie so far has not entered a fugue state once this campaign. I'm objectively less insane than you two.
Oh, that's true.
So-
just cuts back to the moment that Sylvie was just whacking Dodger repeatedly around the face.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we're all, the entire campaign's in an insane asylum, and Eddie's the only one who's racing.
Is that like I'm the guy
Oh,
behind a fucking hot wire
Make it
card?
see everyone, it's all gonna be a thing.
So anyway, he's sitting in shotgun. He has the pistol partly out. He's not like waving it or anything. He just has it down at his leg. He does not have his finger on the trigger or the hammer pulled back. He just wants to have it ready just in case we need to shoot something. But for the most part, he's just looking out the window, keeping his eye on a swivel, see what's going on outside.
It is dark. The buildings are the ones casting the biggest shadows, obviously, so the street is just completely, pretty much pitch, other than the headlights. And Eddie occasionally sees like a straggler sort of brush up against the vehicle, but Giorgio just sort of keeps driving. This thing's a giant steel death trap. It weighs over a ton. I mean, like it's this thing's not going to get stopped by much. and it's just sort of been quiet. All you hear is like the sort of not much. If anybody's been in a vehicle going down a gravel road, that sort of like crackle and popping sort of sound from under the tires that you can hear inside of the actual car. It sort of sounds like that. That's so much debris and detritus and random crap is just sort of all over the road. You guys have just had time to yourselves. Charles is sitting all the way in the back.
I think Sylvie would be a little quiet for a bit, as she kind of thinks about the three things that she really wants right now. Like, these people that are around her are great, and you know she likes them well enough, but she wants her brother, she wants Jimmy, and she wants her cat. And she does not have any of those three things that she wants. So she is very like thoughtful, and then she kind of does something that she doesn't really normally do, which is think about other people. And she kind of leans in to Dodger, who is also like kind of in the back with her, and she just goes, "You all right?"
I'll be fine. She's also just kind of placidly staring out the window. She doesn't really, if we're going for inner thoughts, she's kind of just thinking about kind of everything that's like kind of led up to where everyone is at the moment, and she kind of realizes that these are the only people that she has left, and she kind of feels bad for. She feels guilty for not kind of making better connections with them as people at the moment. So she's kind of staring out the window, not really saying much either. She's normally quiet, but like this might be a different kind of quiet. But yeah, she does say like talk to you and say, yeah, I'm okay. What a it's been an interesting couple of days.
Yeah, you could say that.
Do you think your brother's okay?
Don't, Alex, please.
I had some in my eye. It was just.
She thinks on that for a moment. Well, he'll have woken up by now, and I'd like to say that he's just stay with Jimmy, and if they haven't killed each other, that they're just waiting for us at the apartment. But I know my brother got this horrible feeling. Like, and I think you could see that she feels a little bit unsettled generally. And she's just like, I just want to find them wherever they are. I hope they stay together. I hope they've been feeding Jean-Pierre.
That does get a giggle from Dodger.
Jimmy's better with the cat than my brother is.
I couldn't tell from the escapade in the apartment.
Mm. It's just kind of it just takes practice.
It takes practice to look after a cat.
If he spent more time with Jean-Pierre, maybe Jean-Pierre would warm up to him a little more. I don't know.
He doesn't really seem like not a person, but not a cat person either. He's a soldier type, right?
Yeah, he always has been.
Then I think he'll be all right. I think he'll find you soon, and we'll see what happens, I guess. I don't really have much going. I don't really know what I'm doing either.
I hope so. He's He's very smart and knows how to get himself out of a situation. Violent. However,
He does seem
can't
like
help but feel when you meet people, especially now that everyone is struggling and kind of on the same page, we're going to need to be a little bit more diplomatic sometimes, like with the. And she kind of gestures towards Giorgio.
Oh,
He looks in the rearview
Shoot
mirror
our
like,
way out of every situation. If he looks in the mirror, she would just give him a smile. See, he likes us.
oh,
an
he's
exasperated
alright.
sigh, and he'd shake his head like,
Oh, maybe he is warming up to us. It's quite nice to hear.
Shut up.
I'm only teasing.
I think if he's gonna really survive in this world, in this new world, he's gonna have to learn to be a little bit more understanding of people, just as I'm gonna have to learn to be a little bit more tough. I'm gonna have to be tougher.
I don't know about working as an actress in the theater. It kind of seems like you gotta be tough.
It's
In a
different,
different,
sweetheart.
yeah. You're strong in the mind, at least.
I think when you say that, he would genuinely look a little bit surprised because most people assume, because Sylvie kind of puts on this slightly shallow persona, most people just assume that Sylvie's not very smart. So I think that she would kind of look a little bit surprised, and she would say, "You're very perceptive, aren't you?"
Yeah. When you don't spend a lot of time around people, you kind of learn. You kind of learn to listen more than talk.
Oh, I'm a terrible listener.
I don't think
Much better
so.
at talking.
I wouldn't say so.
Me? Have you seen my listening skills?
It's fine. Oh, fuck! I forgot what I was gonna say there. I'm not used to spending more than a couple of days with a person, so this is already kind of weird for me. I've learned to learn other people very quickly and how to deal with them. So that's why I'm a little bit weird around people for a while.
Well, maybe we'll all make a good team.
Well, I just want to know what's going on. I want to know if I can fix it or if I can do something about it.
You ever hear the sunk cost fallacy? He says from the front. He says from the front seat. He's been silent this whole time. This is the first time he's probably spoken the whole drive.
What is it you said, sir? The something fallacy?
The sunken cost fallacy.
I don't
feel
know.
like,
I don't think that you would know what that is.
So
is it like a business and economics thing, is it?
to a degree. The idea is simple, really, and he turns around and looks at you. When you invest so much time and energy in something, you assume it's worth it. But there's a certain part where you have to make peace with if something's true value isn't what you think it is. As an example, I'm a gambler. I'm at a table. I'm rolling dice. I'm betting. I'm down a lot of money. The common thought is you keep betting till you win it back. But mathematically, you're just as likely to keep losing more. In fact, it's a smarter idea to stop while you're ahead. I get that you want to try to fix this city, but I'm an engineer. I look at things differently than a nurse. I'm allowed to say something's not salvageable. The city's not something we save. The people, maybe. Might be things in it worth protecting and getting out, but I think we're past the part of saving this town. We can only hope to survive it.
I disagree with your pessimism. I think that, well, you were right about something. I think we could, I think a person could be saved. I don't think a whole city can be saved in this state. But, save the individual. That's my, nurse logic, I guess, is us. I guess.
Why do you think I want to get a train up and running? Dozens of cars, one vehicle, most people out as possible. God help me, it's not been easy. Everyone seems to have an idea of who can get on and who can get off and what's valuable. You know how much tonnage a 363 can pull on average?
Amazingly, Edward, no, I do not.
You're just getting blank stares from Dodger. She has no idea either.
He pauses. 363. It's the number of wheels. 3 wheels in the front in a pair, 6 wheels in the middle to drive, 3 in the back. An engine like that, you could probably pull almost every survivor in the city out on one train.
Really?
If everyone would stop freaking shooting at each other, yeah, it might actually be possible.
I was about to question that. This the one thing you're forgetting is the human touch. We don't exactly humans don't exactly get along.
That's really unfortunate, given the circumstance. Yes, I haven't forgotten the human element. It's the only reason I'm here. Not begrudging company. It's not how I would have liked to meet other people to escape with.
Well, the dice of fate seem to have rolled in this group's favor.
Look, I'm an optimist by nature, but I'm not agreeing with any of that until I find my brother, Jimmy, and my cat.
Well, none of us are leaving anywhere for the next couple of days until we can get a train up and running anyhow, and it's probably going to take at least a week. And that's assuming we can scare up enough people to do the work.
How many people do you need?
No.
You people philosophers all of a sudden?
I didn't study that, but I did psychology. I know how a human brain works.
That's what you think.
I like to read sometimes, believe it or not.
All I know is to get the trains running, it's going to take a work crew of dozens. To man it, less. Probably 6 to 12 at most. Depends how much of a skeleton crew you want to run. Probably don't want to do that. So, at least a dozen. Probably up to 18. To get that thing rolling, 20, 30, 40. Easy. That's assuming that the cranes all still work. We have the manpower. I know where we can find it. But it's not my choice who we use, apparently.
No.
Hey, you just let Dodger and I talk to Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Turn around again and look at you guys.
Like you do, Doug.
You know, he has that kid.
It's worked out pretty well for us so far.
Until he puts a gun to his head.
Can I do a quick like psychology recall to find out if Jack is the type of person who would kill a child, or like from meeting him and analyzing him. Does Jack seem like he is the type of person to do that?
I mean,
from what Dodger remembers, you can say no. It's fine.
I'm gonna say no because I don't remember exactly what you rolled to analyze him in the first place. So.
I remember it being.
It was high. I remember that.
Yeah, because that's how we got here.
Jack
she was
is
playing to his weaknesses of being.
But to be fair, I do think that you were when you rolled, you were asking a specific question, like of what you wanted to find out. So
yeah, she was looking for his weaknesses and how to play to his ego. I have no idea if that would give me anything that she can remember. To be fair, it has also been a while, and she has been stressed out since. So
right, but Jack is a hired gun. He does wet work. That was his whole thing. And
okay.
the mind of a killer, a murderer, a professional gunman, they work very differently than the average person. They have to. Or they don't.
I think that Sylvie is going to try to get a little read on Edward and say, "You're fond of that kid, aren't you?"
Of course I am. Trapped up in the mountains during all this, still survived. He found him. He was hiding in a cabin, all but comfortably, by himself. Damnedest thing. Have to be heartless to not hope that he survives. He's not mine, but I can only imagine how worried his parents are for him, assuming they're still alive. I just don't want to leave him there. I can't protect him forever, but... Look, that kid, that child, is at best collateral. I don't know Jack. And he looks at Giorgio when he says it. But I know Jack's reputation. I wouldn't trust a kid with that. And that's nothing personal.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one.
Let me give you people some insight.
Is something else?
Have any of you actually killed anybody?
Oh. That's.
In the way that he is implied.
I was going to say that might be a difficult question.
There's a difference between an accident and like,
no.
he is implying that have you killed somebody like knowingly done.
She just shakes her head. She just pauses for a second and goes, no.
Find out Dodger's a serial killer, just strangling patients in their bed.
Is this
with
the
a
moment that we find out that Dodger is actually a serial killer?
I mean, that would be a hell of a twist.
That would be a twist, wouldn't it? Sylvie does briefly think about Diarmuid, but obviously that was an accident. But she kind of shakes her head. No, I've never killed anyone.
Edward's just quietly nodding. He has absolutely killed people.
And then does what she normally does, where she tries to bring some light to the situation. She goes, "Broken a lot of hearts. Does that count?"
Afraid not, but it might be a similar concept to you. So, killing people goes a little something like this. You live with it. You got it. And by doing so, you choose to dehumanize the person that you have killed. You have to. You cannot continue to linger on these things. Why do you think so many of us call people that get in our way rats? It's really easy to kill somebody when you picture them to be an animal. It's really easy. When you take the humanity away from something, it just makes it so much easier. Killing the dead, no hesitation. They're not human. I don't even need to pretend they're not human. But I think that Jack is going to have a hard time not seeing this kid is human. Jack's brutal. A lot of us are. Those of us that have taken lives, there's a certain hardness you got to get about yourselves to get through everything. But you got to keep in mind, you call us gangsters, you call us mobsters, thugs. We are business people. We do business. It just so happens that that business is organized crime. We're not any different than those stockbrokers up in New York that pull people's jobs out from underneath them. That's a different kind of killing, don't you think? They dehumanize in the same way that we do. Problem is, we just don't leave any loose ends. Neither should we now. You said you wanted to toughen up, Sylvie? That's what it's going to take.
Killing someone?
If you have to. It's not like I take any joy in doing it, and nobody ever should.
Look at you when you called us philosophers. And he says that with a smile, by the way.
It isn't philosophy, it's a mindset. There's a difference. I'm not contemplating how humans work. I'm just telling you how I've handled everything that I've been through.
It's a compliment, Giorgio. Damn, if I had had someone like you working in the motor pool, I would have probably had a lot more men at the end of the war. Go ahead. Sorry about that, Dodger.
It's the same thing. The opposite when you're in the medical trade. You look at someone not human, it makes it easier to treat them. In a way, it's less taxing on the mind.
You know, kind of in a different way, but my trade has a little bit of that too. We don't run on blood and guns and thuggery, I guess, but our kind of killing is a reputation. You kill people, you have to survive. There's only one person at the top of the social ladder. Gossip, heartbreaking, manipulation. That's how you get to the top of the ladder. That's how I got to the top of the ladder. And she looks at everyone very seriously.
I guess we all have something in common after all. From different angles of society, we all have the same thing in common.
As you guys are sort of talking, Giorgio finally turns his face back to the road, and you see this weird orange light being cast over an intersection. And you realize that there are figures moving with this orange light. Giorgio brings the car to a stop, cuts the headlights, and you see this massive mob of people just wielding torches, walking along the street. And you see them sort of, every now and then you see in the light something making their way towards it, and it's just cut down by some sort of weapon. You don't hear gunshots. You just see this mob of people, and none of them are talking. They just have torches along the edges of the group. Some of them are wearing pointed hats. Some of them are pointed hoods. Some of them are wearing regular clothing. Others are wearing protective baseball and football gear, stuff like that. But at the head of them is a figure that you have not yet seen, but you've only heard rumor of. And this is, show it to everybody here.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
have we heard about this person, or was it just Hannibal that's heard about this person?
You've heard rumors about some people giving the mob trouble, but that's where I'm gonna.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
That's where I'm gonna end the session.
Nice.
Oh.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
That's a good ending. Oh.
Good session back, Chief. Good session back.
Yeah.
I got
That
shot in the face.
I'm so happy.
Hannibal nearly died.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Alex
Sylvie
is
almost
like.
threw herself out a window.
Alex was literally like, I can't wait for characters to die. I'm like, well.
And you just over here like, I'm just playing with trains, and everyone else going crazy.
Just picturing like this cinematic thing of just Hannibal being blown out of a window and backwards, and Sylvie just jumping out of a window, and the two of them just plummeting to their deaths.
That's good visual imagery.
Red, although it's called a capirote. By the way, the like clan hood situation.
What's it called?
That's what that kind of hood is called, a capirote. A capirote.
Isn't that what the Spanish, like the original version of that is, or is that it?
That's the Spanish. That's because it was a priest would wear it.
Oh yeah, I know it originates
But
from
that's
Spain.
yeah.
It had a better meaning in Spain. It still does.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, as a former Roman Catholic and someone who's gone to Ash Wednesday plenty of times, can I say I love what you did with that the mark on the guy's head? It looks literally just like that, right to the weird little smears on the outside where you can see there's the thumbprint and then it gets dragged down. And I can practically feel the guy's discomfort with like, whoever the guy was who did that, too much fucking soot. Like, I love it. It's great, man.
Do you think that's why he's so angry?
No,
Yeah, because they get-
I can guarantee you it's a contributor.
He just wants someone to go and just clean his face up a little bit. Like,
I mean, I'm sure he's the idiot
Sylvie's
who
got
did
some
it. But like,
wipes. Sylvie's got some wipes. She can kind of.
I'm just saying, too much in the eyes. Worst shit ever. Good luck.
All right, folks, we're gonna move to shout outs. I want everybody to just give a little brief thing about themselves, where you can find them, and what they're up to. I know that Kat's doing something almost immediately after this, so I'd like to start with her and move to the right.
Are you starting with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey everyone, I'm Kat, otherwise known as the Law Mistress. You can find me on social medias as Law Mistress 93. Pretty much all social medias, I think, apart from like Twitch, the Law Mistress. I wish that was not the case, but anyway, Law Mistress 93. You can find me on pretty much all social medias. Twitter, but that's burning down, so Blue Sky, Mastodon, just wherever you are, find me. Right now, what am I doing? Okay, so I'm in about an hour's time, I'm going to be on Girls Around These Worlds, they're starting up their series Community Cleric, which is like weekly interviews with cool femmes and women from the gamersphere, and I'm the first one. So I will be there in about an hour's time. It's going to be between midnight and 1 a.m. my time, but totally worth it. And you will get to hear all of the things that I'm going to be coming up with soon in more detail, plus probably see my briefcase full of dice. It has expanded since last time, so if you're a dice goblin, please come and check it out. I'm also currently in the middle of co-writing a game with Hackman Games. It's called Argonaut. It is Argo, literally with the number 0 on the end. It is Greek mythology, time, space. There's mechs, there's cool spaceships, there's Hunger Games-esque patrons that give you cool benefits and stuff. It's a little bit of Hades thrown in there. So if all of that sounds interesting to you, then keep an eye on Hatchling Games Twitter. That's where you'll find most of the updates for it, or my Twitter, obviously. What else am I doing? I am currently GMing a series of the game Liminal Horror. That's on Sundays. It is so much fun. I implore you to check out the system if you have not done so already. This particular one is the module The Bloom. It is set in very small town, lakeside town, very like Alan Wake, The Last of Us. If you like a little bit of Resident Evil 8 in there, then it's definitely worth checking out, because this is the cultural touchstones of those are kind of where I'm drawing from. So yeah, those are my 3 main projects at the moment, and I will move over to the next person. But please come check me out in an hour's time on Girls Run These Worlds on Twitch. Thanks.
Thank you, Kat. I always appreciate you. And it's really cool to see you working on a game, because I remember when we started this, even during Cyberpunk, you're like, I really want to collab and make a game with somebody. So it's really cool seeing that sort of like come to fruition. So, and I'm very much looking forward to that, because you said Hades vibes. I'm like, I'm sold. I love Hades. I love that.
Yeah. Hades. I love. Yeah, it's got that. I'm making sure that that's in there.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you again, Kat. I appreciate you as always. Art.
Am I next?
Yes.
Shit. Hello. I'm still very bad at this. Yes. What am I up to? I'm up to 3 things. I have 3 things to talk about. First one is I am writing music in the background for someone who is releasing a game. I think the Kickstarter goes live soon. I'm currently writing a theme or a song for them to release alongside that. The second thing, yes, I'm gonna have my first ever stream guest on Monday night. It is a artist in the community called Idiot Scopics. And we're gonna be playing Gotham Knights on Monday. That's 7:00 UK time. I'll be on Twitter. You can find all my socials up there. And the third thing is, which is a bit of a surprise for Red. See the background song that you've been using that I made the soundscape?
Yeah.
I am updating it, and it should be ready for next week's session.
Red likes surprises.
I thought you would like that. I've been working on that a lot in the background, and I'm gonna surprise it with you for next week. For the next section, it'll be ready.
Yeah.
And no, you're not getting to hear it early.
I didn't figure so. You do need to get it to me early enough where I can plug it in. That should take me like 2 minutes, so I don't think that'll be any issue.
I'm gonna give it to you an hour before it.
Fucking fine by me. I'll be playing it.
I'm gonna make it shorter than that. I'm gonna give it to you 10 minutes before we go live.
You really want me to struggle, don't you?
I just don't want you to hear it early because I want it to be like a nice surprise.
Okay, that's fair. I love surprises, and I very much appreciate you doing that. Like I'm fucking stoked to hear it, because I love this soundscape so much. Sometimes I just kind of leave it running, and I'm just like, yeah.
The next one is no. This is gonna inflate my own ego a little bit, but I think this is the best thing I've ever made.
Okay.
Well, I'm so hard at work in this shit. I'm so excited to actually finally get it out there.
Well, I mean, you built up all this hype. I'm really excited to see it, and I appreciate you as always. You've been wonderful. And I
try.
Big hearts. I can't do hearts with my hands. My hands are weirdly shaped.
Something like that. I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yes.
But thank you, Art. I posted Art's SoundCloud. So please.
Yeah. Oh, you did. Hey.
I did. I think Catman Jones also did as well.
Catman, he's the ultimate hype guy. Can I just give a small shout out for Catman? He's been nothing but the most supportive person I've ever had in my life. Like in the last couple of months, it has been incredible. He's pretty much put my music everywhere I can think of. He's showed it to everyone he's ever met, and it warms my heart. And I just wanted to give him a wee shout out for that.
Yeah, we love Catman Jones. Please check him out on Twitter. Same exact thing, Catman Jones. Very cool dude. He's been with us since Cyberpunk. Actually, earlier than that. He's been hanging out in my streams a lot earlier than Cyberpunk. So I appreciate you, Catman, and I
That's nuts.
very
We
much
love
looking
him.
forward to. I always look
We
forward
love
to seeing
him.
the chat. So. Thank you,
Oh, yeah.
thank you, Art. Thank you, Catman Jones. And I'm gonna move over to Alec, who's working on a lot right
That's
now.
me. Me? I think everyone knows that I never work on anything. So I have a bunch of shit going on right now. But yes, I'm Alexander, Pro-Jam Purveyor of all things homebrew. I am on social media, Alec_Zam. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Ko-fi, Patreon, and all sorts of different shit. But beyond some homebrew book stuff that I'm putting out, I also, for the past several months, have been hard at work on my own TTRPG system called Spliced. It is a settingless system that you can use to tell any kind of story that you like. And it is absolutely fucking ridiculous. We are deep in playtesting, and it's going to be awesome. In fact, speaking of playtesting, actually later tonight, we'll be setting up because we're going to be doing a special one-shot set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe on DMDM Studios channel. So keep an eye for that. It's called The Hand That Feeds, and it's actually going to have a couple of people that are in this. And the plan is also to have all of these fools join me for a one-shot, so I can take over Red's channel at some point. And that one is going to be...
Just replace one stressful game with another for a
Oh, wonderful!
Oh, you think Red gaslights you? Child.
Okay. Well.
Oh no.
But yeah, so it's going to be dope. So keep an eye out for that. I'll have more information coming over the next few weeks. But that one is going to be set in Rapture via Bioshock. So lots of cool shit working on right now. Spice will be coming up at the end of this year. I'm speaking to actually different publishers, but I'm also thinking about crowdfunding it. But at the very least, I want to get Spliced out in people's hands by the end of the year. So keep an eye out as more information comes. The system is like 95% done. So I really am very, very excited. And I guess that's it for me for right now.
Awesome. Thank you very much, man. I'm looking forward to our session. I guess you call it a session 0 later tonight.
Yeah, session 2.
Yeah. So obviously, check out Alakazam on Twitter. He posts everything. He also does like funny shit posts every now and then. His shit posts are very funny. But if you like his content, he makes all sorts of stuff. Like you literally don't even need to buy anything for 5e if you're playing 5e. I mean, like literally just go over to his stuff and buy. Literally get everything you could possibly want, imagine, and need. So, thank you, my friend. And moving over to the last, and certainly the last, Omnitech.
Hello, everyone. I'm the last Omnitech, your favorite robot American. You guys can catch me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TheLastOmnitech, all one word. I'm also on Twitter, same handle. I'm also on Instagram, same handle. I'm not on Threads yet. I'm assessing. As far as all the other social media stuff, I'll get back to you when it's not constantly roiling and on fire. So I do world building, art streams, and rule smithing on my Twitch channel, as well as also I am now running currently 3 separate live plays. We have one on my channel. That would be Wild Skies of Etanria, where we have our lighter than air Pathfinder 2e adventure, which has in fact the amazing Redemption VA on it. I'm very happy to have him there. In addition to that, we also are running 2 other games, Legacy First Flight on Derek's DMDM Studios every other Saturday at noon, and Mouse Guard, The Frontier, which is normally on tonight and every other Thursday. However, we've taken a pause on that to do that sick ass thing with my lovely friend Alec over here. So, but starting in August, we'll be back to it. So if you're interested in a little adorable, incredibly dramatic Lord of the Rings / Game of Thrones style empire building adventure with adorable mice, then tune in. And that's me. Thank you very much. I have more irons in the fire, but I'm not going to bother. We have spent enough time on that.
I appreciate you, Omni. I believe Omni's going to be a part of this thing tonight, correct?
Yes. Indeed, I will be there.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so obviously check out Omni. I work with them, not exclusively, but just like consistently all the time. Every single one of my shows he's a part of. So, yeah. Thank you, pal.
You're a homie, buddy. I'm happy to do it.
I appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody's patience with me while I'm in the process of moving and getting everything set up. I know my internet isn't the best right now. Don't worry, I'm going to upgrade it. I just got something in the meantime to sort of tie me over. But internet should be upgraded before stream on Monday, which will be at 7 p.m. CST. Hopefully. Might be a little bit later. We'll find out. Gotta still waiting on my schedule for work because, love being a slave to my work. But yeah, that should be live at 7 p.m. CST, Soldiers of Fortune. And I appreciate everybody and their patience. I'm going to try to do some like magic streams here and there. Mostly just going to be using that for uploading stuff to YouTube because Twitch is kind of iffy right now. And yeah, want to get my content to you more consistently. And Rapture will be live in 2 weeks' time. Once actually, maybe are we doing the one shot before that? Let's see. No, July 20th. Yeah, that shouldn't be. You said sometime in August, correct?
The 3rd.
August 3rd. Okay, yeah. So next,
the 3rd is the plan, but we're still figuring it out.
Yeah. So July 20th should be the next airing of Call of Cthulhu Rapture, and I appreciate all of you guys. I'm not going to raid out because to be quite honest, I don't have the energy to talk to other streamers right now. So do forgive me in that regard. But I appreciate y'all, and I will see you again real soon.